And why are you kids not in school?
Kids, go to school, you stinking kids!
The fuck is going on?
Go to school!
It's 11:30 and these kids are on the street like roaming bands.
You know this neighborhood's dangerous.
Oh, summer. It sounds good right now after what we just experienced, doesn't it? Grilling out, lawns being mowed, and pools opening. These are some of the things we expect with summer.
Welcome to What We Into. I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robin.
Oh shit, let's do it again because I was going to do something funny.
Oh, you fucking...
Hold on.
You're so bad at this.
I forgot.
You're so bad.
Here we go. What We Into, I'm your host, Robert Karma Robinson. Here with my co-host.
The fuck?
This whole skit thing I was going to do where like...
Where we Freaky Friday each other and we change bodies?
Yeah, so for first-time listeners, they're like, wow, that Lawrence Dial.
I prefer, speaking about our hairline games, I prefer my hairline game than your hairline game.
I think your hairline's doing good.
It is. That's why I'm prefer my hairline game than your hairline game.
There was definitely like a moment, I think, a couple years back where it started to recede. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and you made sure to mention it to me right when it happened to you. Because I remember the day I was like, fuck, bro. God damn.
I was actually I was talking about my own hairline, but yeah. I think,
you're a liar.
I was.
You're a liar.
No, it gets to that point where you're like, you think it's just going to all go suddenly. It just moves like half an inch in moves, like 1 year.
It moves
and
enough.
And you're like, what?
It moves enough that I was concerned for it when it started happening to me.
Yeah.
Because I have like photos posted on my fridge that are really close to my face every day. So when I look in the mirror and I turn to see the fridge, I have a photo of me with like luxurious locks and a very full hairline.
I noticed that too when I was over your place recording. I was like, "Well, look at that!"
Yeah, right.
And me too. If you had the same, if you had me right next to you in that picture, I would have long hair down to my shoulders.
Remember? Yeah, I remember you used to have really long hair. Yeah. Like I don't even know when you started rocking the whole short dad look.
When I became a dad.
No, it was before that.
Falling out. I derailed you again. Sorry.
You always do that. I'm trying to think about the guys in our class who came in with like full luxurious heads of hair, and then subsequently Rainwater. Rainwater is the first one I can think of.
Wasn't Rami losing his hair for a while?
Rami was taking Propecia when I knew him.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Burn Rami.
I remember I was like, yeah, what do you do? I remember I was in his bathroom at like... he lived at what?
It wasn't Hale.
No, it wasn't. No, he lived in the house with John. And,
Hugh? Oh, yeah. Swayze.
Was it Swayze?
It was either Swayze or is it... not Breckenridge. Inglewood.
Thank you. Yeah, Inglewood up to no good.
Yeah,
when he lived in Inglewood, I remember like using the bathroom and like seeing like the medication there and asking him about it. I was like, yo, you take Propecia? He's like, yeah, bro. Look at my hairline's been going for a while now, man. It shocked me because I think we were fucking like, I don't know, 17, 18 maybe.
Yeah. And yeah. I love that we organically got to Rami Malek using Propecia as opposed to like I wrote it down here like no. Love you, Rami.
This is what you do. Like I start talking about something, and then you tangent me off, and then I have a story based on that tangent, and then we tangent around for a little bit, and then we circle back. What the fuck were we talking about?
You're breathtaking.
You know what? You're sitting here with your shirt off, and I have to comment on how breathtaking your sculpted abs are.
No, it's a Keanu Reeves thing, man.
Oh,
Come
wait,
on.
what?
Oh, you worked the entire... There's the new... Keanu Reeves has replaced Drake as the new meme. Or meme?
What?
Meme?
It's meme, bro.
Meme? Yeah, right? Okay. So he comes out for E3, and he's talking about...
for CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
I'm going to play shit out of that.
Exactly. And we're going to talk more about it here in a second. But so he's like, and it's got, all this stuff, and got bells and whistles, and the environments are breathtaking. And somebody, like a heckler from the crowd goes, you're breathtaking!
Oh, right.
And he goes, no! It's you're breathtaking!
It came across my feed that Keanu Reeves gets heckled at E3, but I didn't click the link to find out what it had been said or what it happened.
Oh, you don't have to, because I just saw the whole thing.
I was like, who? Well, in my first thought was like, one, who the fuck would be heckling Keanu? And two, it probably wasn't a bad heckle because everybody loves that dude.
It was not a bad heckle at all.
Everybody fucking loves that guy.
That guy would have got jumped.
You play as an outlaw, an enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly of the city. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, The feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
I literally just read an article where like people had started a petition to make Keanu people's
yes.
person of the year.
Person of the year, yes.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm laughing, but I would totally be on board. If he popped up as a person of the year. Okay,
I'm 100%
sure.
on board.
Boom.
Like, in all the years that he's been a celebrity, you can't think of one person who's come out and been like, man, fuck Keanu Reeves in any shape, form, or fashion.
Have you seen all the pictures of him, like, hugging women, and he doesn't put his hands, like, on them?
No.
So, like, fans will come up and get a picture or selfie with him, and he'll put his hand around. They'll do the hover hand.
No.
Like, you can see it clear. Like, he's super... Which you have to be these days.
Yeah, well,
but yeah.
Well, I think he's been doing that a long time, but, just like the tragedy in the story of like how he is the way he is and how he became the kind of dude that he is. It's inspiring. Like I want to live my life like Keanu. Like if that's the model of like being a good person on the planet, that's the dude to look to.
And wasn't it like he was like homeless for a while?
He was homeless for a while. He found the love of his life.
His best friend killed himself.
His wife died in like his wife and I think baby.
The baby I think was a stillborn.
Oh right.
And then I think she died in a car accident like a week later or something like that.
And he was just like,
he's like, you know what? Tapping out here.
I'm good.
He's like, I'm good with that's honestly like no joke. No jokes. Like if something happened to my wife or my kids, I'd tap out. I don't know if I would kill myself.
No, I wouldn't kill myself, but I definitely would resign from the world.
Yeah, I bet. You know what? I don't need to date anymore.
And he's low key been he's low key been paying off people's like medical bills. He
donates a ton of money to charity.
Ton of money to charity.
Person of the year time.
Rides the fucking train.
Yeah.
With no bodyguards. Like. I fucks with Keanu. I have always. He's a good people's.
Well, we are what we are in. What would she?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
We are what we into. You can send us an email, whatweinto@gmail.com. Patreon.com/whatweinto if you want to throw us a buck. I want to put that at the beginning of the podcast. I always forget.
Yeah, start with the money.
Yeah, start with the money. Speaking of money, what are you going to buy me?
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I honestly could. I'll probably finally get that check around like July 1st.
See, this is supposed to be a segue into. So you're supposed to be like, what do you mean? I don't have any money, but you actually have some money.
Not yet. I mean, I will in the distant fucking future.
Well, the reason I bring it up is that the House is to hold reparations hearings with testimony.
Oh yeah, I saw this
from Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, thank you, that brother.
Yeah. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. You pronounce it.
Tasahani.
Tasahani?
I think it's Tasahani Coates.
Ta-Nehisi.
Something like that.
Let's just say all of them. That way we get it right. When in doubt, even if you get it wrong, trust me, I'm not the one saying it right.
You're almost never saying it right. Yeah, you have like an 80% failure rate to get somebody's name on this show correct.
But 20% of the time, I'm right every time. No, so they're holding this hearing. It's the first time since 2007 they've heard testimony on the topic of slavery reparations.
Yeah, I saw it, and I subsequently just didn't even bother because they're never going to get reparations. No. It's what I feel like this is an effort in fucking futility. They're gonna get all these people to sit around a table in this congressional meeting hall or however the fuck they do it, and it's just gonna be a circular roundabout to make everybody in the room feel like, oh, we're actually tackling this problem, when in fact they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It is a meeting to discuss whether or not they should form a committee to discuss possibility of doing it.
Which is interesting because one of the things I was into this week, I went back and sort of finished. I didn't complete it yet, but I went back to House of Cards.
Oh yeah,
and so much of that show is that fuckery right there.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start a committee to have discussions about starting a committee to do actionable shit.
Exactly.
Like, man, American politics can
suck it.
Yeah.
You didn't
kill
say
itself.
That. I said,
American can kill itself.
American politics.
Kill itself. Have somebody resurrect it to then kill itself again.
I didn't pull it up, but there is an interesting article, an interview with him, Ta-Nehisi, about this whole topic and, just about politics in general. It was in New York Magazine a month ago. And he's skeptical like you are as well, but he's still going to go through the process of doing it.
Well, he should, because he is sort of the forerunning black intellectual of America now.
Yeah, for sure.
It used to be that cat with the afro. I forget his name, but
Oh, you're talking. He was also in the Matrix movies.
Yes. That brother. I forget his name, but
I'll think of it way late in the middle of the night. I'll sit up and be like,
he for the better part of his life had been what Tatsani is now.
Yeah.
But I think with cats like that, they don't want to pass the baton.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So him and
God, what is it? It's right.
I forget. It bothers me too because I should know this.
We'll think of it mid episode. It'll come back to us.
But I think in recent years, he and Tatsani have been, I don't want to say combative, but they have been sort of at each other.
Like there can't be two guys,
two
black guys who are very smart.
They can't be, because there's always been at least one who's been considered the intellectual of their time, and for a long time that brother was and has been. And Tatsani is now on the scene, and he is the heir apparent. But in all things like this, power never wants to just concede power.
Right, but it's like it's not even conceding power. It's like two different dudes. It's like Spike Lee and Lee Daniels. We got two different styles going on here.
True, but like when you're talking about it's youth and old dudes.
Oh God, what is his name?
I can't remember the brother's name. It's gonna bother me.
I want to look it up, but I'm not going to. Did you hear about Netflix's got a new show with a Stranger Things kid?
Which one?
Oh wait, go back to reparations for a second.
Okay,
sorry, I'm jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
Let's say that they give...
let's go back to reparations a second.
Shit. We're dedicating this entire episode to reparations and the jokes that may occur.
Oh, my God.
Let's say they give every black man and woman $1 million.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say.
Uh-huh.
And then what?
Well, Dave Chappelle had a really good...
I'm not against it, by the way.
Dave Chappelle had a really good sketch.
If you got $1 million, I'd be like, what are you buying me, Rob?
Well,
can we get some new mics?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pay off my student loans.
Okay.
Because...
You got $45 left.
Yeah, something like it. Something like it. I've got enough for a Big Mac and fries. You can have the Big Mac, and I'll take the fries. How about that?
Now, more Reparations 2003 with Chuck Taylor.
If you're just joining us, black people got their reparations checks today, and in short, all hell is broken loose.
Now you're looking at the world's richest man, and I'm black. Kiss my black ass, America.
All right, well, I think what everyone wants to know now is what are you going to do with all this money?
I'm going to reinvest my money into the community.
Oh, that's a very nice gesture. What will you... Okay.
No, there's no... I mean, how do you even determine what amount?
Well,
who gets what?
I mean, somebody has. I'm sure somebody on the internet has been like, some other black intellectual besides Tatsani came up with it. And but yeah, I don't. If they gave every black person in America
Cornel West.
I kept wanting to say, looking it up.
Yeah, I kept wanting to say like Crow or something terrible. I was like, that's not it.
Jesus.
I know.
Jesus.
Hey, I admit what I think sometimes.
Maybe you should have some rosé. Maybe you should have some
There's no rosé.
I'm
going to drink this coffee and have a beer. Cornel West. Yeah, exactly. He does not quite have the same track record as Ta-Nehisi.
Yeah. Not by a lot. But he has been the...
Right. And then James Baldwin before him.
Yeah, Baldwin before him.
And 500 other people I can't remember.
I think Frederick was probably the first.
Frederick Douglass, yeah. Well, he's having a moment these days.
W.E.B. Boys came through in a time when... Anywho.
All right, sorry. What were you saying?
I don't remember. What were we talking about? You tangent giving
$1 million.
Son of a bitch.
You get $1 million from reparations.
Well, Dave Chappelle had a good bit about this. You see the Dave Chappelle sketch where... black people got reparations.
No, I don't remember. Probably, I don't remember it.
It has the most famous line from that show. I'm rich, bitch.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
So black people get reparations, and immediately they're like every unpaid cell phone bill gets paid. A bunch of Cadillacs get bought from the Cadillac is like the biggest I feel
corporation. Like Kanye West has got a song about this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you don't think it's a good idea?
Every black person in America reparation money. I don't think it's a good idea.
Is there like a sliding scale? Like, how do you even figure it out? Like, I think it can be done. I definitely
think it can be done.
All jokes aside, we can figure it out.
I think it can be done. I don't necessarily think it should be done.
Yeah,
I don't like giving somebody who's bad with money a bunch of money is probably not a good idea. Giving somebody who has been systematically never really trained to have that sort of wealth.
Right.
You then give them a whole bunch of wealth and expect them to do well with it. That's never going to be a good idea.
It would never be enough
like
money
imagine
anyways.
giving like everybody in the Marcy projects $1 million. What the fuck would happen?
You just let them own the property that they live in. That would be honestly
I think that's
those
more.
$1 million.
I think that's better than any. I think rather than giving a bunch of people who aren't ready for that level of money a bunch of money, give them land.
Yeah.
Because the whole reparations, there was part of it was 40 acres and a mule. The 40 acres was the land, and the mule was to work that land so you could make, however much money you wanted. I think if they wanted to give reparations, they should give reparations in land ownership or property ownership.
New York.
Not here's $1 million.
Here's $1 million in ones. Good luck carrying it home.
You know what I'm saying?
Which should be better? Reparations or opening up the jails and taking out everybody who's in there for some misdemeanor or even
both
or drug offenses?
Both, because America's criminal justice system is basically modern slavery.
Yeah, but you only get to pick one because that's the question.
Only picking one, sure. Then you got to fix the criminal justice system.
Yeah, I agree. I think
you gotta let. One of the things that I have a big issue with right now is that we're standing on the cusp of these corporations ready to profit off of marijuana deregulation, and there's still motherfuckers in jail who are in there for marijuana related offenses. Even in states where it's now licensed and legal, which is egregious.
Yeah.
So like before any corporation can make a fucking dime of money off of marijuana, especially in the states where it's legal, you gotta let all these motherfuckers go.
Yeah, Colorado just announced they made like something like $4 billion or something like that in 1 year.
Dude, their first year of deregulation, they made so much money in Colorado that they gave money back to people.
Yeah.
They were like, "Yo, we
charged you too much for this weed.
We made our
sorry."
And the crazy thing is, I was talking to a cat who lives in Seattle where it's deregulated too. He was like, "Yo, if they get to the end of their fiscal year or whatever, and they feel like and they find that they've made whatever, they then cut the market is so much. There's so much they sell the weed cheaper. So you can get. He was saying they were selling
just giving it
ounces. They were selling ounces for $40.
What?
A zone. For $40.
I
told that motherfuckers that the next time that shit happens, you get me on the line because I'm about to be the fucking kingpin of Brooklyn.
Yeah, seriously. Let's just rent a car. Let's get out there.
The bricks, just stack them up.
I think it's pretty illegal probably to take it state to state.
Yeah, it is completely illegal to cross state lines.
It's kind of illegal.
It's completely
it's not half illegal if you're white.
Larry, you're right. You're right. I forgot. Never mind. I'll let you drive.
Enslavement reigned for 250 years on these shores. When it ended, this country could have extended its hallowed principles, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to all regardless of color. But America had other principles in mind. And so for a century after the Civil War, black people were subjected to a relentless campaign of terror, a campaign that extended well into the lifetime of Majority Leader McConnell. It is tempting to divorce this modern campaign of terror, of plunder, from enslavement. But the logic of enslavement, of white supremacy, respects no such borders. And the god of bondage was lustful and begat many heirs, coup d'etats and convict leasing, vagrancy laws and debt peonage, redlining and racist GI bills, poll taxes and state-sponsored terrorism. We grant that Mr. McConnell was not alive for Appomattox, but he was alive for the electrocution of George Stinney. He was alive for the blinding of Isaac Woodward. He was alive to witness kleptocracy in his native Alabama and a regime premised on electoral theft. Majority Leader McConnell cited civil rights legislation yesterday, as well he should, because he was alive to witness the harassment, jailing, and betrayal of those responsible for that legislation by a government sworn to protect them. He was alive for the redlining of Chicago and the looting of black homeowners of some $4 billion. Victims of that plunder are very much alive today. I am sure they'd love a word with the Majority Leader. What they know, what this committee must know, is that while emancipation deadbolted the door against the bandits of America, Jim Crow wedged the windows wide open. And that is the thing about Senator McConnell's something. It was 150 years ago, and it was right now. The typical black family in this country has 1/10 the wealth of the typical white family. Black women die in childbirth at 4 times the rate of white women. And there is, of course, the shame of this land of the free, boasting the largest prison population on the planet, of which the descendants of the enslaved make up the largest share. The matter of reparations is one of making amends and direct redress, but it is also a question of citizenship. In H.R. 40, this body has a chance to both make good on its 2009 apology for enslavement and reject fair weather patriotism, to say that a nation is both its credits and its debits, that if Thomas Jefferson matters, so does Sally Hemings, that if D-Day matters, so does Black Wall Street, that if Valley Forge matters, so does Fort Pillow. Because the question really is not whether we will be tied to the somethings of our past, but whether we are courageous enough to be tied to the whole of them. Thank you.
It's Channel 4 News at 6 o'clock.
Another scenario. You go out for a job. You've been trying to find a job for a long time. You go out for a job, and suddenly you find yourself on a new prank TV show.
Fuck that.
That is the premise of Netflix's new show, and it's drawing big backlash.
Fuck that. Yeah, absolutely not.
It's being helmed by the kid from Stranger Things.
Which one?
Gaten, the kid without the teeth.
The guy with the list.
Matarazzo, yeah. Gaten Matarazzo. But, okay, so you're getting a backlash.
Wait, so he's the host for this?
He's the host and executive producer.
He's a well, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna fly.
Okay, so there's this backlash because the idea of like people going out, they're trying to find jobs, they finally feel like they got a job, they show up, and it turns out to be a prank, and like some weird, scary, extraterrestrial, who knows, shit happens, right?
No.
But actually, what the show's about is you show up, they tell you got 1 day of work, they hired you for 1 day, you show up, and then they run you through a bunch of crazy shit, and then they pay you.
They do.
Yeah. So either way, you get paid. But you also end up on a TV show. And it's probably not enough money to where you're like, oh, great, now all my problems are over.
See,
I still don't have to get a job.
I feel like this show got made irregardless, so a bunch of people signed waivers.
Yeah.
And in that way, like, for me, I'd say negative, no thank you, kill yourself.
Yeah.
But there are so many people who want to be famous and, you know, want their 15 minutes that I think it's gonna do well. I think a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm down for this.
Yeah. It's called Prank Encounters. He's a new cooch.
What you can't see is that I'm eye rolling.
No, they can see it. They can hear it. Every time you go, that's an eye roll.
Okay, all right. Well, what about this? All right,
tell me what you got.
For a little bit of a palate cleanse.
Yes.
Would you ever go to a bar?
Yes.
That will allow you to throw shurikens?
Yeah.
So on July 1st, the Ninja Cafe and Bar opened in Tokyo, where you can eat, drink, dress up like a ninja, and throw shurikens.
You bought us tickets with your reparations check.
Okay, all right, that for sure I would definitely do with reparations money. I'll be like, yo, we're going to Japan. Why? To drink beer and throw shurikens. Is that it? And dress up like ninjas. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Well, we threw axes at Chapo's.
Yeah, which I still had issues.
Alex Chapo, dude, who does our theme song intro.
Chapo does our
You can buy it on iTunes.
I
got to plug it once in this podcast life.
Dude, but that. Do you remember me? I remember asking so many questions about that Axe bar that night.
Yes.
Location its location made me wonder how much they paid in rent. It had to be something like exorbitant.
Yeah. Half as much as their insurance, yeah.
It did, their whole business model just is crazy as fuck to me. I could not fathom it.
It was, yeah. It's also, it's down there past Gowanus. It's in the same kind of realm as the Brooklyn Boulders climbing gym that you and I went to.
Right.
So at one point, it was this sort of just like industrial factory wasteland. And they were just basically like giving out rents. It's just like, yeah, sure, $200, $500.
But
now I bet it's going up.
It's got to be something. But it's crazy because the idea is that it's a bar where you can drink alcohol and throw axes at wooden targets. It's
from
an action
behind
mark.
your back,
From
overhead style.
And the way it's sort of set up, they're like batting cages.
Yeah,
it's like the side. They're like
It has
batting
to be.
cages with these little like mesh screens separating them, but none separating like the walkway, like the walk path to the batting cages with anything.
Yeah.
So like.
Did you think it was dangerous?
I think it has the potential to be lethally dangerous.
Well, sure, of course, the potential, but
Well,
did you think it actually was?
I honestly, when I was there, I felt okay, but like I like in my head, I'm thinking of like all
This
the
is-
Chads and Derricks that would show up in there.
Right.
You know who I'm talking about.
Right, the guys who had the red cups before they walked in.
Exactly.
Then start drinking.
And
And you're like, wow, loafers. It's
boat
it's
shoes,
fucking January.
boat shoes and Dockers. This guy's ready. And not for nothing, not shitting on people who actually enjoy boat shoes and Dockers. But,
I do, but not in January.
So the Chads and Derricks are who I'm really concerned
Right.
about, because I think everybody else will be fine, but there's a level of entitlement I think that's involved in this thing that I just yes, to answer your question, yes, it's dangerous as fuck. I think it is.
Well, Alex Kurtzman is talking about the new Picard show. I've got no segue. I'm just going to jump in.
Yeah,
here. It's
your
so
segues
great.
are trash, but we'll work on those.
Well, it's not trash.
Stop it, dude. Don't. God damn it.
So this is from comicbookreader.com. Kurtzman compared the new show, Picard, to Stewart's previous work. Yes, obviously it is Patrick's show, but we have an unbelievable cast. The thing I loved about the Next Gen cast is that you really could have focused any episode on any of them, and I would say the same about our cast now.
Well, that's the thing with Next Generation is that they did.
Is what we've been saying.
The spotlight always kind of, it shifted almost episode to episode from one character to another. So you got to know each character a little bit more in depth each time.
Right.
The Riker episodes really focused on Riker, like the whole Picard thing where you find out he was like a young tough, just picking fights everywhere and
getting stabbed through the heart.
Stabbed through the fucking heart. You were like, I didn't expect that. Not from this calm, reserved, level-headed motherfucker. Now
Makes you look at him totally different.
Completely.
Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
I think that was the strength of a lot of what the formula for I think Star Trek Next Generation introduced a formula that they, or maybe it was the original that introduced it, because I think the original did this to some extent too, but just not nearly as in depth. Because I feel like the original, yes, they would do episodes about other characters, but not the whole ship. Uhura never made it into like having her own standalone episode. It always sort of centered around the big, I'd say two.
I was going to say, because Shatner's not giving up too much.
It was like Shatner and Nimoy had the bulk of like the episodes that delved into things with them.
Yeah, and speaking of Shatner, so he's come on and defended Tarantino, because Tarantino.
In what way?
Tarantino came out and said, like, oh, I'm going to make this an R-rated movie, the new Star Trek.
Right.
And people were like, oh, my God, Tarantino's going to make an R-rated movie. He's going to have cuss words and the N-words. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not going to do that. He's not dumb, you guys. He's a smart man who's made lots of good movies and understands genre.
I think that fear, that level of gaslighting is unnecessary and dumb.
And Shatner says, so why are people plotting about this? It's my understanding that Star Trek Discovery has used expletives in some episodes. Why aren't people melting down about that? So he's talking about basically Discovery. Right? Because she drops the F-bombs.
Yeah, she does.
And I will say, it felt out of place. It
did. It was like...
It was unnecessary.
It did feel jarring. It was like one of these like record skip moments.
Yeah.
Did that just happen?
Did that need to happen? Why?
It didn't.
No, it didn't.
Because there was no... Well, maybe it did because there was really no precedent for it before then. But like, if we're in like, what is it? The 24th, 25th century.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten past using
the word fuck.
The word fuck. I
agree.
To, like, you guys in that way.
You guys are in a spaceship using a spore drive,
and that's how. Yeah.
And you're still using uncouth words. Like
yeah.
fuck.
I had mad, which we've talked about on the show. I had mad issues with Discovery.
Well, this sounds like a Picard sounds a bit like a course correction.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if Patrick Stewart has signed on.
We call him Pat. That's why you're stumbling.
It's Pat.
Listen, Pat.
It's Pat. If he signed on, I'm confident that the material is up to his par.
Unlike that American Dad show that he does voices for.
I love
constantly.
that show. I love that show.
Yeah,
he'll
go lowbrow. Picard will definitely go lowbrow.
Have you seen? Oh my God! Have you seen him dressed up as Kellyanne Conway?
No.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Look it up right now. Look it up right now.
You got to talk for a second while I do
Patrick
this.
Stewart as Kellyanne Conway. I don't know what context it is. I don't know if he was doing it for like a sketch or a show or something. But there's photos of him as Kellyanne Conway, and it is strikingly good.
Oh wait.
What? Are you?
I don't know. Is that? Oh, it is.
You couldn't even. That's what I told you. It's striking, dude. You were like, no, this is two photos of the same woman. Yeah,
I think it looks exactly like Kellyanne Conway,
dude. Exactly.
Except that it's like her like 10 years in the future. Or maybe in Trump years, 2 years.
No, it's like her. Then like
before
at
Trump
the beginning
and after.
It's like her at the beginning of the week, and then her at the later on in that week
Right.
telling the same bullshit stuff.
It's alternative truth.
Oh my God! Right?
Yes.
I don't know why he was doing it. If it was like if he was like on a show and they were spoofing her or whatever.
Is there video of this? Do I have video?
It came up in my feed recently, and I had that exact reaction. I just started laughing because it's so spot on. I was like, he looks exactly like Kellyanne Conway.
He makes a pretty damn good looking older woman.
Right?
If you had the option...
Although Kellyanne Conway is not an attractive older woman.
No, but...
She is ran through as fuck.
I agree. Just from... 3 years of working with
just
Trump.
From 3 years of lying indiscriminately to motherfuckers.
She's like Skeletor, man.
The crazy thing is, every time you would see her, like in these early parts of the campaign, being a part of the Trump administration, she would look a little bit more gaunt and a little bit more like she was carving away pieces of her soul.
Yeah.
Because she'd be up there just blatantly.
What's that, Merchant of Venice? Like a pound of flesh?
Pound of flesh, yeah. Well...
She's down to like shavings.
She's down
now.
to just like bone. She's scraping bone now.
Yeah, exactly. If you had to spend the night with Patrick Stewart or Kellyanne Conway, or Patrick Stewart dressed as Kellyanne Conway, who would it be?
You know what? I think it'd have to be Pat.
Yeah, it'd be more interesting. Her would just be depressing.
Yeah,
she'd be trying to like convince you of some.
Isn't she the one who's like feuding with her husband? Like her husband blatantly hates the president, and
it makes me kind of like her in a way because her husband is like just straight up just trolling Trump, destroying Trump, and kind of like calling her out too.
She has to go up and every day and like defend this guy.
Well, I feel like she's coming home and they're both complaining about it, but she can't do anything because it's her job.
I bet their sex life is awesome.
Yeah,
I bet they have mad raucous hate sex.
Do you think she dresses as Patrick Stewart for sex with her husband?
No.
He's not like put on that Patrick Stewart makeup.
You can't get enough of that hair under a ball cap to make it look believable.
Yeah, you can. I've seen SNL; they can do it. You want to talk about E3?
Well, we should definitely start moving into it because it dominated the last couple of weeks.
It did the last couple of weeks. Well, we were off a week.
Yeah,
because you worked a ton. You worked like 63 hours.
I worked. Well, that was this week. In the last 2.5 weeks, I was doing the numbers. I worked 123, 24 hours, something like that.
And you were just constantly forklifting shit for 123 hours straight.
I wish that would have been constantly forklifting shit would have made it easy. I wouldn't have to have slept all day yesterday. Yesterday was the first day off I had in.
Kara Walker was the woman who did.
You sent it to me. I got it.
It took me forever. I got the name right in the podcast. I knew it was Karrison, but I kept thinking of my friend Kara Young, who's an amazing black actress.
You did get it right, and I did get it, but stop trying to fucking tangent me. I'm telling a fucking story.
Go forth.
If it was just forklifting stuff, it would have been fucking easy, but no, it wasn't. So I was actually this week. I was at the Shed. I don't know if you know.
What is the Shed?
The Shed is that brand new Hudson Yards theater fucking art space thing. It's the thing with the retractable roof. It's like 30th and 11th.
Okay. Don't know it, but it sounded like a theme park ride for True Detective.
Have you been seeing advertisements for this Kung Fu musical?
Yes.
Well, that's where it's being done. It was rehearsing on 42nd, and then they moved it over to where it is now at the Shed. But that's not what I wasn't working on that. I was working on another thing, a whole completely different thing.
Oh, okay.
Because the building is not even fucking open yet. Like it's like a low key Nakatomi Towers, where like parts of it are still under construction.
Other parts of it have like terrace at the top.
Yeah,
and you gotta,
exactly. You gotta
get them out.
You gotta survive.
Were you John McClane?
I'm always fucking John McClane. I'm a black man in America.
Yeah,
America is Nakatomi Tower.
Did you know that's a Christmas movie?
I'll slap the shit out of you. Open palm too. Open palm. So yeah, and
I almost had you.
And I was doing this art installation / curation.
Okay.
For this last week of this artist. His name is Oscar Murillo, and if you get a chance, you should go check out his exhibition. It's pretty dope. It's reminiscent of sort of Jean-Michel Basquiat. That's the vibe I got from not only him but a lot of his work. It's very it's very random and sort of smart. Like you can see where he took the time to, and it crosses a bunch of different mediums. He uses like canvas and some of it's paper and some. It's worth a look. See if you can get in. I don't know.
Always when you are working, it's very self-biographic, no?
It's maybe biographical, but it doesn't have any. It's not about identity politics. It's not about like being Latin American or being maybe black or being like a man or being gay or being or being like, it's not about race.
But when the day that I left was Monday, and they opened on Tuesday.
Okay.
But the night that I left, I did 12 hours the last day, and Bloomberg was in the building. He was
working with you?
No, well,
side by side?
Stop fucking tangenting me, asshole. Bloomberg was there to open the exhibition before it opened, and like, so I was about to leave the building. I was going to say,
he put money into that somehow. Somebody was like,
had to. But the other thing was I didn't get to meet her, but I was in the Misty Copeland was in there in the building.
Who's Misty Copeland?
Misty Copeland is my hopefully
crush,
third ex-wife.
Yes.
She's so gorgeous.
Rob has been married twice before this.
Misty Copeland. No, there's future divorce ex-wife.
You go through two women before you get to her.
Of course, yeah, of course. I mean, she showed up recently.
You got a lot of work. A lot of work ahead of you here. Bro.
Well, look, I'm not. It's not clearly. I'm not afraid of working.
I just came from Father's Day, and let me tell you, it's tough out there.
We'll
talk about it later.
Okay.
I don't want to tangent you.
So Misty Copeland is the first African American ballerina in the history. She's the first African American prima ballerina to play something really specific. I think maybe something in Swan Lake.
The Swan in Swan Lake.
I think it must be, but
one of the swans. They're all swans.
She has massive. She's like one of the first African American ballerinas to dance a bunch of traditionally white roles in these things.
Swans are traditionally white, but there are black swans in Australia.
And she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. And I was
you got yourself on a tangent.
I was in a scissor lift tensioning down this tension grid that we had built in the gallery, and I looked down. I was with another one of my coworkers, and I looked down. And I was like, "Is that Misty Cope? That is Misty Cope." And my tongue just dropped and just sort of like did like that cartoon roll to the ground.
Did she step
like
on
I had like a wolf head with the giant eyeballs and all that. It was yeah, exactly. She's fucking
eyeballs that look like boners, basically.
She was like I had a full body boner. It was like a mental boner, a spiritual boner.
I've seen you like that.
You've never seen me.
It's impressive.
Like You've never seen me.
Impressive.
Fully torqued. You've never seen me fully torqued.
You know what else is fully torqued? E3.
Your shitty segues are not going to work. These are not the segues you're looking for.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I know.
I like that
a lot.
This is the segue you're looking for. E3 conference happened.
What were the dates?
I don't know.
Let people know
whatever.
the dates.
The dates. It happened. It was like Saturday, June 8th through like, I don't know, some things. There's some games they talked about. There was a new Avengers project. Did you see that?
I did see the new Avengers project that subsequently they got mad backlash after
because
people didn't like the character models.
Okay, so this is a section of the podcast where we're going to talk about video games for about 20 minutes.
So this is the E3's portion of the news section.
Which stands for?
No, I know.
Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Well played. Although it made me think, when's the last time you called something an expo? Expo is a term that doesn't get used a lot. It's usually like conference or...
Wasn't there a baseball team called the Expos?
Yeah, they were the Montreal Expos.
Like, what the fuck? They were just a bunch of conferences?
I don't... see, and this is what I mean. I think the word expo has not ever really been given its due diligence. We're like, expo? What does that mean? What is an expo?
Yeah, what is an expo?
Exactly. I think people got a hold of the term and really didn't know what was going down with it. Anyway.
Anything you saw that looked exciting?
There was a bunch of stuff at E3 that looked exciting.
You want me to name some? Or?
I forgot my notebook, so I'm gonna go off the top of my head.
Okay.
The ones that I remember distinctly being like, yes, I'm gonna play that. Yes, I need to have that.
Number one
was CD Projekt Red's, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, and people know about it already. If they haven't, they should. It's Cyberpunk 2077. It's and CD Projekt Red are the same guys who did the Witcher games.
That's right.
Or most recently, The Witcher 3, which won Game of the Year I want to say 2 or 3 years ago.
This one is going to have Person of the Year 2020. Keanu Reeves.
Possibly.
No, he's in it. What are you talking about? Possibly.
But he's not Person of the Year yet.
Oh, I see. He's my Person of the Year.
Well, keep that shit to yourself.
Who else would be my Person of the Year besides
your
you?
wife?
Besides you?
How about your wife?
And her. Next in line.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
So, basically, and it was kind of an interesting E3, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, is that Sony and PlayStation weren't there this year.
Yes.
To which they were
gonna go, but then PlayStation could get its hair right, and then Sony was like, fine, we'll just be late. And then PlayStation was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't even want to go to this. And then Sony was like, fine, neither do I. Maybe we'll just sit at home and order takeout. Blah, blah. And then they did. And then they had makeup sex later.
Are you done?
But in the back of Sony's mind, he was like, I really wanted to go.
Are you done?
Yes.
What was I talking about?
Cyberpunk 2077, Keanu Reeves, E3.
Because immediately I started listening to you, and I'm like, I should not be listening to him because he's just talking foolishness out of his butt.
Lots of other games were there as well.
Lots of other games were there as well.
Doom Eternal, Dying Light 2.
Didn't care for it. Doom Eternal looks cool, but I didn't play any of the previous Dooms, although I heard those games were fine.
I'm going to pick it up. Once it's like $10, I'm going to
get
it. Yeah,
I think I might have to. Doom Eternal looks fine, but it's also like something I've played before. That's what it felt like to me.
Right.
I'm less inclined to play something now. I mean, this may be just like the maturation of like a gamer who's been in gaming, half his life.
Right.
I'm less inclined to do like this sort of like run and gun shooter, one player kind of things like Doom are. What I was really interested in is like the story based things like The Last of Us.
Last of Us 2,
which developers they still don't know when that's going to drop. But
no.
I'm of the vein. Look, take as much time.
Don't give us a shitty game.
Don't give us a shitty, especially that one. Especially that one because that one the first one set a benchmark.
Like you ended perfect.
And not only did it end perfect, but it set its storytelling and gameplay set up a video game precedent and benchmark for telling stories with video games.
Yeah.
And for me, like they changed the game so much. Like every other game like this or game should take their model from Naughty Dog's Last of Us, because that is how you tell stories in a video game that's compelling and gripping and like it was the only game I've ever played where as soon as I had played it through one time and beat it, I immediately started playing it again because I wanted to see if my choices, if I made different choices along the way, would it affect the outcome of the game?
And did you beat it again?
Of course I did.
Yeah. See, I did that exact thing and then played for like an hour and was like, oh, just something else came along. I started playing it again.
For me, it had to do with, it was the scene with the two brothers. Remember, they're
in the beginning, the first.
It's like 2/3 of the way through. There was the two African American brothers that they meet, and one of them gets bit and doesn't let them know right away, and then you have to.
I've actually been trying to forget it so I can play it again. To be quite honest,
it was one of the more poignant moments in the game for me, other than the beginning, and I wanted to get back to that point and make a different choice to see if I could save the other brother or both brothers, and obviously it's on a fixed thing, but.
Final Fantasy VII Remake also
holy
reemerged.
Shit, that's that one. Yeah, for sure.
I have some concerns.
Do you?
Yes.
In what way?
So Final Fantasy VII originally came out, Mom and Dad, on PlayStation 1 when I was probably either a junior or a senior in high school.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Around that
sounds right.
And it came out on 3 discs.
Right.
So for your PlayStation. So you put one disc in. It was like Laserdisc, Mom and Dad. You would take it out and put another disc in.
To continue.
It was a big, big game. Okay, the first disc was almost primarily just this one city called Midgar.
Yep.
And the remake of Final Fantasy VII, they're giving it out in installments.
Okay.
Okay, and the first installment, which comes out in March of 2020, is just the Midgar game.
Okay.
Right? Just the city game. My concern is that comes out, then they spend another... Because this has been in development like 5 years.
Yeah.
Then they spend another like 3-4 years for the next installment, probably on PlayStation 5 or Project Scarlet, which is the new Xbox.
So, yeah,
right. And then they never finish it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No?
No. They have garnered entirely too much hype around this game and around this remake. And after what they showed us at E3,
looks good.
This thing is going to crush.
Yeah.
I was saying that CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be Game of the Year.
Yeah, that looks good.
But this Final Fantasy remake, if they do that shit right, it could easily give them a run for their money as far as that goes.
Can remakes be Game of the Year?
Why can't they? God of War was a remake.
Was it?
Kind of. It's not. It wasn't a continuation.
It was a reboot. Okay, not a remake. This is a remake, right?
So we're gonna argue syntax on reboot.
Would you rather have a remake of Final Fantasy VII or a remaster?
A remake,
yeah,
because a remaster would basically be that 3D modeled one from the original 3D model one, just a little bit more shade cell,
clunky,
a little less clunkier in those moments. No,
God, I just hope they don't screw it up, man.
You saw the gameplay.
Yeah.
Did you? You weren't excited about that?
I was. Yeah, it looks good. But it doesn't mean the cutscenes aren't like superfluous and like overblown and like.
It's a Final Fantasy game. That whole game is superfluous and overblown.
But that's what I'm saying. Like 7 was great. Tactics was great. 8 was like, whoa, melodrama. 9 was actually back to its roots and really good again. And then after that, it hasn't really been a good Final Fantasy.
This is your wheelhouse.
I know. And I stopped playing Final Fantasy games.
I'm giving you the breath of the wild here.
Pass the mic.
I'm giving you the breath of the wild here.
Yeah.
See, that's a fucking segue right
exactly.
there. That's a segue. Because I was going to say Nintendo, they're doing a Breath of the Wild sequel.
2.
That's what a sequel is, dude. That's I know.
So I read an interview with a guy, I can't remember his name, Anomura or whatever, who's the Legend of Zelda creator. There's 2 other Legend of Zelda games also coming out, but we'll talk about this in a second. And he said they had so many DLC downloadable content.
They had so many ideas that they just decided to make a whole new game.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Great.
But it sounds to me like they had no plans to make a sequel to a game that ostensibly was the best thing on the Switch.
The Wii U. Yeah.
And
still the best thing on the Switch.
That's right, Wii U. But
yeah,
really, you guys weren't going to make a sequel?
I never beat it.
You.
I have to go back.
You
and
never beat it?
No.
Fuck you!
I got to Ganon.
Kill yourself.
I got to Ganon's castle and was like, I'm tapping out. Some other game came along and I started playing it and never went back.
See, this. I can't believe you never finished that.
I know.
You could have given it to me. I'd have beaten the shit.
You know what happened? My family ruined it.
Wait, how? Wait. How did your family
I started
ruin
playing it, and then they started sitting down and watching me playing it.
Right, which
and then
is
they started
the
getting
nature
into
of-
it.
Yeah.
And then every time I play it, they only wanted me to play it when they were around. They didn't want me to like play ahead.
That's dumb. I would have been like, okay, great, and kept on going.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have gotten over it really quickly because
cue Fleetwood Mac's song "Family Man" because I'm a family man. Okay, and
or Family Guy. Cue that song.
Cue that guy. And so every time I would play, they'd be on the couch and like, go over there, do this, do that, do this. And for a while, it was really fun.
So you had backseat gamers. Your family's a bunch of backseat gamers.
Exactly. After a while, I was like, you know what? You motherfuckers play these games. I don't want to play anymore. I'm gonna play. And I think Dark Souls 3 came out. Is what happened.
Wow.
I started playing Dark Souls.
And you
3.
started playing Dark Souls 3 over finishing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's a long game.
I know it's a long game. That's the point of fucking Zelda games. Zelda games are all long.
And so I was going to come back to it, but what happens is your skills atrophy, as I've talked about many times. And
your skills atrophy.
Breath of the Wild, you can only have one save at a time. If you want to start it, if you want to start another game,
you can't have like multiple save points.
No.
That's bullshit.
I know. So if you want to start a new game, you have to erase all of your previous progress and start again from the beginning.
Wait, they don't give you multiple save slots?
No. It's one save slot.
Since when?
I'm telling you, it's just part of the game. They don't also allow you to remap your buttons. And they asked the creator of Zelda why that was the case. He was like, well, we really fine-tune all of our mechanics and we want the game to feel a certain way. And then the follow-up question was, well, what about players with disabilities? And he was like,
fuck them.
He was like, yeah, we're gonna work on that. We're thinking about it. Horseshit. What if you don't have a thumb, man? Remap those buttons. Put the thumb with your
what
pinky.
if you're left-handed, dude?
What if you're left-handed? Exactly. Just remap the buttons.
That's dumb.
Exactly. Other Legend of Zelda games. There's a Cadence of Hyrule.
I've seen it.
That one looks good, actually.
It's like the Beat emulator one. That it looks like the original from
Link to
Super
the Past,
NES.
Yeah.
Which is I think that was probably my favorite Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's everybody's. Just
just off top. It was one of the ones that like.
It's been like which Matrix is your favorite? Oh, the first one.
Actually, mine was the second one.
Really?
Yeah,
Matrix
Revolutions. No, not Revolutions.
You're an iconoclast.
Unloaded. It was the one that sort of like expanded the.
Which is
Matrix.
your favorite Indiana Jones?
Oh, that's a toss up. It's between Last Crusade and Temple of Doom. I really like Temple of Doom.
The first one. Come on.
I know it has
Raiders, man. Which is your favorite Star Wars?
Oh, Return of the Jedi.
Well, that's okay. That's respectable. It could go any of the three originals.
I go either. It's actually a toss up between Return of the Jedi and the second one. What was it? Not New Hope, the other one.
Oh, Phantom Menace.
Fuck you.
Return of the Sith.
Fuck you twice.
Force Awakens.
Fuck you 3 times.
Last Jedi.
You're so bad. Empire Strikes Back.
I was just gonna let you hang.
Empire Strikes Back. That
hang and feel ashamed and now abashed.
That one was probably Actually, it's Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, obvi.
Yeah. It's 1, 2.
The other obvious is that they're remaking Link's Awakening, which was originally a Game Boy game. They're remaking that with color. It's gonna be great. What you don't like Zelda?
I just finished saying I love Zelda, but like, why the remake? Just make a new game.
So you'll take a remaster. It's kind of like a remaster. It's in between a remake and a remaster. It's going from a black and a green.
They're
and
basically going to take the same game and make it color.
Yeah. But they have to redo the entire game.
Bravo!
It's a remaster.
It's a horse shit to get my money.
You're becoming grumpy uncle.
I'm just yeah. Probably.
They also showed 13 minutes gameplay from Star Wars Fallen Jedi.
Yeah, they did.
Or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, it looks good because I remember sending it to you. I sent the gameplay to you, and I was like,
I think we had a barbecue and watched a little bit of it.
It looks like an updated Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
And I love those games.
Smushed together with Titanfall. Because by Respawn, the guys who did Titanfall. So those segments where he's like running on the wall, that's just exactly Titanfall, right?
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, that campaign story was amazing.
It's great. I mean, I still have it at the house. I still one of those that's on the shelf.
It was a great one.
That I'm going to probably like pick up in a few months and be like, oh yeah, I love this.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, we talked about that a little bit.
Saw that. It looked okay. I'm going to play it regardless. I felt like the disappointment. I think we should just sort of like.
I'm always about disappointments.
I was disappointed by Nintendo. Like
why?
Nintendo, like what they brought to
Super
bear.
Mario Maker 2.
Boo.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
You mean the game that they already have out? All they're just releasing is content and new players for?
Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Fuck Animal Crossing.
March
Did you ever
2020.
play
No.
Exactly.
Luigi Mansion 3.
And that was the straw that broke the camel for me. I was like, what? That's what you brought to E3? A fucking new Luigi game about him ghost busting? Fuck you.
Yep.
No. And this is where Nintendo suffers for me, because their canon of games is not evolving with their base.
Yeah.
We're all fucking grown peoples now, and they're still making games for
old. Man, give us some old.
Whoa.
Give us new games that play like old games.
Whoa.
That's what we want.
it was a shit show for Nintendo for me.
Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to Switch.
Also, I saw. These are all part of the notes that I had too, and I was like, really, Nintendo? This is where we're at? You're just gonna give people games that you should have had already on the platform. You should have made your hardware available so that it could have been there already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've already played these games on other systems.
But now you can take it with you.
I don't want to. And
But now you can poop and play at the same time.
The drop of fidelity.
Yeah.
Of going from like 1080p, 60 frames per second to
Sitting
your
on
Switch
your crotch while you're pooping.
No. That's no. Why would I do that?
Well, I agree too, because some games just don't translate that well. You're going to play The Witcher 3 on a handheld.
That's my point.
6x6, 6x5, 6x4 screen, or whatever that is.
That's my point.
Yeah,
it's a letdown. Nintendo has been doing this consistently for at least a decade now, where they don't allow third-party developers access to their hardware to build games specifically for. Like, it would have been great for them to have done this, when The Witcher was out.
Yeah.
Because they would have taken the time to port it in a way that the fidelity would have been worth it and all that. But now you're gonna give us The Witcher 3 and Resident Evil 5 and 6. We ain't even doing Resident Evil 5 and 6 now.
Yeah, we don't care. We already played it.
It's see, and this is
done.
This is where the Xbox CEO, I guess, he was like, I wish that Sony and PlayStation were at E3 this year, especially at the point of development that the industry is at, where we're about to release this next gen hardware, where we're moving into this.
Well, that's what Xbox One announced, or Xbox announced. Microsoft.
Microsoft. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Microsoft announced Scarlet.
Yeah.
Not My Brother's Daughter. But a new console.
Yeah.
Which is just basically Xbox 3. They just took numbers. PlayStation is it's numbers.
I think it's Xbox 4.
Yeah.
Because the 360 was the third.
Yeah, so yeah.
Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 360, and this would be...
There was Xbox One, though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was
I guess
Xbox One S.
That doesn't count. That's the same. It's the same line. It's just a different model.
Stick with... This is like when Apple just jumped straight to iPhone 10.
Well, didn't they make 10 of them? They made 10.
No.
They made 10 iPhones.
They went from 8 to 10. There was no 9. There was no iPhone 9.
There wasn't?
No.
Well, I wouldn't know because I've never owned
Exactly.
one. I've never owned one.
Grumpy uncle.
No, it's just that with Steve Jobs dead, Apple is over-innovating. They're over-innovation.
He was not down there building them.
He designed them to every model that had like an innovative feature. Steve had designed. He was like, I do this.
He took credit for it. Who knows what he actually did?
Okay. So why is it that as soon as he died, Apple stopped innovating their phones? It's just been like, oh, look, here's this new light. It's like peripherals. They're like, oh.
It's a peripheral light.
Hey, you can now use your thumb to, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing now. Like, what innovation? What innovation
can't you do with your thumb is the real question.
What innovative thing have they brought out for the iPhone since Steve Jobs is dead?
Portrait mode.
Oh, really?
Unbelievable.
That's the innovation.
You know what else is an innovation? Dark Crystal video game coming.
Whack.
Did you hear about this?
I did hear about it. Did you?
You're not a tactics fan,
Did you see that? Yeah. Did you see the gameplay for it?
Yeah.
And you liked it? Exactly.
So Final Fantasy VII came out junior year or senior year of high school. Their follow-up was Final Fantasy Tactics.
I remember you played the shit out of that. I remember you playing it all the time.
Still play the shit. It's like it's been a while, but like I pick it up every couple of years and play it through again. Like it's great.
On what system?
It's been on every system for the most part. It originated on PS1. Then I think I played it again on PS3. Then I played.
So they ported it for each one of these systems.
Then I played it again on my iPhone. That was the biggest time sunk on my iPhone.
You're playing it on your iPhone,
and it's also on PS4. No, it's not on PS4, just PS3. Sorry.
You like tactics games.
I like that game, and they've never been able to duplicate that feel.
Well, you played XCOM. XCOM is almost
XCOM's
like
good.
that.
It doesn't scratch the same itch.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Final Fantasy Tactics that it's like the perfect. Anyway, so Dark Crystal Tactics game is coming out, which is bizarre. But
what's bizarre is that they waited this long to do a Dark Crystals game.
Tactics games, for those of you who don't know, Mom and Dad, are basically like it's chess.
Yeah,
and you have knights, and you have like mages, and you have like healers.
Each piece, each character can move a certain amount of spaces, and it's turn based. So you set up where you want your characters to go based on the way that the enemy movement starts at the end of their turn, and then you have to subsequently beat every one of their pieces without losing your pieces in the same kind of way.
Right. So think of like if you were playing chess on a board that also had mountains and streams.
Basically, it's like Star Trek chess, like that multi-tiered. It's like that 3D chess from Star Trek.
Right, there you go, boom. And then instead of just having like 5 or 6 different types of move sets, you had tons.
Yeah. And magic and abilities and stuff like that.
The music from Final Fantasy Tactics is still really, really good as well. Same with the music from... I'm not joking.
I believe you.
Now you're laughing.
No, I believe you.
No, that was a scoff.
Well, I was laughing
because
the Joker.
Yeah. Oh, I had news about the Joker as well.
Oh, did you?
So basically... some rumor was out that Macaulay Culkin was supposed to play the Joker in the Batman new movie.
Really?
Yep. And Matt Reeves is Batman, and basically he replied like,
"That's not happening."
Yeah.
Well, I was referring to the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie getting a rated R rating.
Yeah.
I'm more inclined to.
They're talking about the Batman also. Maybe this movie, Matt Reeves' Batman, maybe getting an R rated. You're right.
Maybe
you just get
Yeah, no, this is actually getting this is actually happening. Confirmed, like the director confirmed that it's going to have a rated R release.
Here's a picture of Macaulay Culkin as the Joker. I could kind of, if it was a young Joker, you could see it. He's a weirdo.
I'm only because it's clearly a Heath Ledger Photoshop of Kevin McAllister's face, the character he played from Home Alone, on that body.
He's fucking vicious in that movie.
I think that Macaulay could actually do that role.
He put a bunch of micro machines, and Batman would slip on him and then fall into like some like sharp Christmas tree ornaments, paint cans flying everywhere, bricks. He'd set Batman's head on fire, and then he'd step on a nail and slip on some tar. Yeah.
Jesus.
It could work, that's all I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
So it's getting an R-rated.
Yeah.
The Joker.
I'm more inclined to see it now.
Yeah, for sure. You were going to see it anyway.
Was I, though? It's DC. I don't think I wasn't on board. Just because Joaquin's doing it, just because it's the Joker, does not mean that I was going to go see this. DC has been a failing entity when it comes to telling good superhero movie stories. So it wasn't a guarantee that I was going to see it.
Oh, maybe it's not. You know what? It's not the Batman I'm thinking that's going to get an R-rated. It's Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie that's coming out.
So, that's different.
Yeah.
And that should have a fucking R rating. It should.
I just say give them R.
Give
DC,
them all R ratings.
Yeah, just DC. Give them
all R ratings.
Everything's rated R. I want an R-rated Wonder Woman. I want my kids to be freaked out by Wonder Woman next time we go and see. The new Wonder Woman 1984 looks pretty good.
I haven't seen anything for it.
Me either, just a poster. The poster looks good.
So you've seen the poster?
It wasn't even a poster, it was like a promotional photo.
Jesus Christ.
I like Gal Gadot.
Walk it back some more.
I like Gal Gadot.
I like Gal Gadot too. I think I think I have issues with her Wonder Woman though, but it's mostly physical stuff.
I rewatched Captain Marvel and it just made me appreciate
Wonder Woman
so much more. Yeah.
So do you think Wonder Woman is a better movie than Captain Marvel?
By far. Yeah, by far.
Wow.
I think Gal Gadot is a better Wonder Woman than Brie Larson is a Captain Marvel.
I agree.
I like Captain Marvel in Endgame, but I will see another movie that she's in. But Captain Marvel's not great. Not a great movie.
I think I have to watch it again because I think initially I was really kind of gung ho about it.
Yeah, me
because
too.
of the it was Marvel's first sort of like foray into telling a woman superhero story,
Right.
and that. So I was really gung ho for it, but I think having spent a little time away from it, I don't know if my feelings for it would hold up. I think maybe it was kind of a I think maybe the 90s nostalgia vibe that movie kind of is imbued with may have blinded me to some of the kind of specifics of it being meh.
It's just Brie Larson's very meh.
But,
Samuel Jackson is the shining light.
Well,
in that movie.
It was a buddy cop film too, and I kind of dig that genre and that way of storytelling. And when you got Samuel Jackson being,
I mean, it's not a disaster. I'm just saying.
No, it's not a disaster. I don't, because it did really well. It was, but I think that it had problems that I overlooked because of what it was and what it kind of dealt with.
Yeah. You want a synopsis for Stranger Things season 3?
No, I don't.
Me either.
No, I don't. Having spoke on Stranger Things and the way season 2 ended.
I just closed the tab. We can just end it now.
Don't. No.
We'll just watch it.
I'll watch it and we'll talk about it.
We'll be disappointed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because now they're not like, because the problem is, and this is what happened to the second season, they were like, oh god, this is a huge hit, what do we do? This is going to go on for 10 more years, 20 seasons. We're going to have a Stranger Things season 3 video game.
I think they knew that they were going to make at least 2 seasons. I think that is a fact. I think they knew that
they had no clue, man.
I think they knew they were going to have at least a second season.
I think they wanted. There was no guarantee, man. They had no guarantee.
They're almost everything that Netflix throws money at has at least 2 seasons. Almost across the board.
This is one of the first things Netflix threw money at.
I don't know about that.
Think about it. It was like 4 years ago. It was before all that new stuff.
Nah, Netflix has been basically anybody who has an idea and wants to do something. If you have a proof of concept,
I do.
Netflix will give you money to make that shit.
Okay, here's my proof of concept. Every black person in America gets $1 million.
Chappelle did it.
Oh, damn it, Chappelle. Stealing all my best ideas.
Well, I mean, 10 years ago. So.
Glow Season 3 has a Netflix release date.
Awesome. Say when.
I know, right? That's actually, to me, like, I would rather... Would you rather see Stranger Things Season 3 or Glow? Me too.
Live from the Fantan Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling!
Because, well, Glow actually happened, and I grew up watching Glow. I know that story because that story is close to me.
It's just so good.
It's so good. And what's her face? Alice and girl from Community.
It's Brie Larson's sister, Allison Brie.
That's a terrible joke. That is a
actually, it's a great joke.
Terrible joke.
Whenever I can get you just to stop,
Jesus Christ,
and just look at me and smile, I'm like, yes, got him.
Allison Brie.
So you can't see it on my end, ladies and gentlemen, but when there's that pause, it's just big old cheese smile from Rob.
She's very, very good.
Betty Gilpin, she's the other one, the blonde.
This entire cast is actually really, really good.
Yeah,
and I mean If this story that they're telling is half of what actually happened behind the scenes of making that show, it's probably it deserves Emmys on Emmys because it's incredible.
Gina Davis, you hear that? Gina Davis is in it.
You mean for the 3rd season?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Gina Davis is joining the cast for the 3rd season.
Yes. What happened to Gina Davis? She was around.
She's still around. Madam Secretary.
Is she?
She did. She had like this episodic. I didn't watch it, but yeah, I think it was not Madam Secretary because that's Taya Leone, I think. But
yeah, exactly. Gina Davis.
No, she did it. She
Cutthroat Island.
She was doing some sort of like. What is it?
I bet she got married to somebody famous.
No, watch this.
Not that she wasn't famous enough to just not be married, but
dude, Gina Davis never stopped working. I promise you, she had a show.
You
that
look
was
it
on
up
TV
because she's playing Sandy Devereaux St. Clair, an entertainment director of the Fantan Hotel and Casino, the Las Vegas venue in which the ladies will wrestle. Davis, 1989 supporting Best Actress Oscar winner for The Accidental Tourist, 2006 Best Actress Golden Globe winner for The Commander-in-Chief, starred in several classic films over the past decade. But this TV role feels like kind of, I don't know, a thematic callback of some kind, maybe.
What do you think of Sandy?
She's the entertainment director.
Have a drink and play a little blackjack on us.
We keep this up, and the three of us stand to make a lot of money here.
Maybe I can push the money into a pile the shape of my son.
Okay, well, I don't really know what to say to that.
I have a job. I have a boyfriend. And somehow I still feel lost.
Maybe you feel lost because you're holding yourself back. I would like to extend Glow's contract until the end of the year.
It's stuck.
What the fuck is happening now?
God, I love opening nights.
Oh, 1992, League of Her Own. They filmed that in Evansville.
In Evansville, yeah. That's Evansville's claim to fame. We know that.
And Rob Robinson, the Rob Robinson story.
It will not have anything to do with Evansville.
No?
No.
What if it's all... Well, you don't know.
I think I do know.
The linchpin of your life is Evansville, Indiana.
Is it?
It's me, baby. It's all gonna go back.
I feel like I'm the linchpin of fucking your life.
Of course.
Hey, write this play for me. You should write a play for me.
I know.
Cut
to me never writing it.
Well, cut to you actually did write it.
I did write numerous plays. Still working on them. Mindy Kaling confirms that she's had talks with Marvel Studios about Miss Marvel.
Oh, wait. As in playing or producing?
I think playing.
Mindy, she wants to play Ms. Marvel?
I don't know, maybe. She's a little old for it, right?
Yeah, because that character's a teenager.
Yeah, so it can't be her.
Well,
she says, quote, "The people I've spoken to at Marvel are so excited about the character. I think they're trying to figure out what to do with it. And I told them I would help in any way because I truly love her, including playing her as that character." No, she didn't say that. She's just writing it. Okay. She's going to write it, yeah.
She's going to write it.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because you're right. She's way too old for it.
Yeah. Like, that character's basically a teenager.
Yeah.
Have you seen the launch trailer for Harry Potter's Wizards Unite?
Is that the ride, the Universal theme park ride?
Not according to this trailer. That looks like a movie.
Wizards Unite. I'll keep showing that up. So there's a shot. There's like some Voldemort-looking stuff.
Well,
there's
what you didn't see at the top of the video is that this girl has this pin board with all these articles pinned on it. And one of them is like Muggle something something something.
Ooh, Wizarding World. Yeah, it looks good.
So you didn't see.
No, I didn't see this at all. How did I miss? Oh, she's got a wand.
It looks like the new Harry Potter movie.
There's a broomstick flying by shit. There's like stuff exploding.
So on your free time, you should probably take a meander.
Magic appears in Muggle World.
This is a shout out to our resident Potter fan, Lady Nerd 1. If you want to confirm or disconfirm what we're talking about here, that'd be great. But there's a new trailer for a Harry Potter film.
It looks like the Muggles are getting magic, is what it looks like to me.
I think that's what's happening.
10 seconds you showed it to me.
The whole trailer is 3 minutes long. So
you
get a chance, you should check it out.
They're going to check it out right now because I'm going to play the entire trailer in audio for them. Here we go.
Harry Potter Wizards Unite is basically Pokemon Go for witches and wizards.
But yeah, so this is the top of it where, there's this board and I guess Muggles are being attacked and things like strange happenings, baffle scientists, bug off outfielder blames massive insects and it's basically these headlines where weird things are happening in the world.
Yeah, that's all we wanted. Okay, we wanted like some adult stuff in a Harry Potter world that wasn't like super convoluted.
Hogwarts. Well, it looks like they're taking what they were doing with like Hogwarts and bringing it into our what Crimes of Grindelwald did.
It's Griswold.
Whatever. It's kind of like they're taking those wizarding stories and bringing it into like our modern world.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'll see anything Harry Potter. If we put Harry Potter in the title of this podcast, it'll get like 50 extra listens. No joke. From just random people just like searching podcasts for anything and everything Harry Potter. I can just put Wizard in the title. Wizards, Lauren Style and Rob Robinson discuss new podcasts. People are like, I'll check that out.
I saw something really cool. It was this Cube TV. It's this Cube TV that lets you play games on it.
Cube TV? I'm going to look this up.
I just had it. Where was it? Yeah,
Cube
it's
TV games. No,
nothing.
Cube TV. Hold on,
I just had the page open and trying to find it now. But
okay, live streaming games.
It's a cube. It's basically like a LED cube.
I think that's just a mascot.
No, dude, I'm telling you, it's a LED cube that you can play games on.
Personalized live streaming. It's like a little yellow cube looking thing.
No, it's an. Oh my god! Now I got to find it so I can verify.
That's
that
why
I'm
you
not
don't bring
crazy.
things up.
I had it open
Unless you know what you're talking
and then
about.
your tangent ass
And
got
then
me
you-
tangenting, and I closed that
closed
to
it.
pulled up the
Ah.
Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Here we are. Steven Spielberg's writing a
Here it
mobile
is.
horror series that you can
A
only watch at night.
six-sided LED motherfucking
Pixel Cube.
screen.
That looks dope.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
That looks
that
dope.
you can play games on. Check that out.
Pixel Cube on Kotaku, and it's big and it's round, and you can not round, it's square. Sometimes I just say things.
Yeah,
I just
a
say
lot of
things
times you
that
just
don't
say
make
things.
sense.
But that's
it looks
fucking
like
dope.
Yeah, it looks like a big Rubik's cube with LED lights on it.
And
Does it do more than that though?
I hope it does more than just that.
It just looks like one of those. It looks like a really fancy version of the game I had at my grandma's house, which had like a marble and it was
And
like a
then
little
and you
plate
tilt
and it was
it.
a balance plate and
Yeah,
you
you
had to
gotta
balance
tilt
it
it.
past the snake pit. Go around the quicksand.
I think it has the potential to be something cooler than that.
I'll take my marble. You want to get in what we into?
Yeah, let's jump in.
What we
into this week?
What were you into this week?
Only a few things because I didn't have fucking time.
Me too.
And one of them I kind of already spoke about. House of Cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to watching that. I don't know what. I'm not sure what really brought me back, but I had been meaning to go back and finish it ever since I started it and stopped.
Where did you stop at it?
Like middle of season 4.
Okay. And it was
after
5 seasons?
6. I think the last one I think is solely Robin Wright's.
6.5 if you include that weird little video that Kevin Spacey made where he's like, "You thought you had me down. I'm the character from House of Cards, but I'm also Kevin Spacey, and I know I was very rapey to some young boys, but don't believe everything you hear."
It was
and
weird.
I'm weird, and this confirms it.
I don't consider that a half.
I'm going to put
if
that.
anything, you consider that maybe a 16th, 32nd.
I know.
If anything, but
that's like a show disaster.
Well, the show jumped the shark after he won the presidency. It became less compelling once
because he won the
became...
presidency. I don't watch it, but
yeah.
Well,
the first
you're
3
not gonna ruin it
seasons.
for me. I'm
The
not
first
gonna-
3 seasons are the lead up to him winning the presidency, and then once he becomes president, it sort of suffers from this a very just basic formulaic show about politics.
Mm-hmm.
It was at least for me. For me, it was less compelling once he became president because everything they had taken 3 seasons with this build up and sort of like the machinations and all that the underpinnings of this one particular guy and his bent and a drive to become president. And then once he does become president, it just meanders all over the place with stuff.
Right.
And then he becomes a president again.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a president again. And we're like,
Jesus, the third time? How's he become a president the third time?
Well, the first time he became president, he wasn't elected. He was just basically like bumped up because his predecessor stepped down and this like it was he had orchestrated some stuff being in his position like so he wasn't near the top yet, and then he orchestrates some stuff to get to the top, and then he ends up being the president, but he doesn't get elected.
Yeah.
Then the next time we see him, he's running for re-election, but he doesn't win. This other guy is actually winning, and then he orchestrates some stuff to make himself president again.
Okay.
It just became sort of a like eye roll shark jumpy stuff, and by that point, stuff had come out, and so you're starting to see like I started like watching the character of Frank Underwood was kind of in a way, it felt a little bit like watching Kevin Spacey, the one that that ended up being
right
in the news. That
they,
it felt a little bit like that.
They couldn't escape that after that point.
Yeah, because you couldn't help but see it now. There's a scene where
this is really awkward now.
There's a scene where he chokes up this young boy.
Oh God!
And says something like, "You don't know how you feel about a person until their hands around your throat." And then he chokes him up, and he's like,
"Where's your?
Well, what do you feel now?" And then it's gnarly. It gets kind of gnarly, and I'm like, ugh, Kevin.
Yeah, so that all came out because of Anthony Rapp from Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Will Wheaton who would. Come out and said some shit.
It might have been Will Wheaton, but it was definitely Anthony Rapp from Star Trek Discovery came out and that said, Kevin Spacey, when I was a 17-year-old boy, pulled me into a room and basically sexually assaulted me.
Oh shit!
Or pressured me, or did a bunch of stuff like that, right? Yeah, and so that's what
I thought it was Will who'd come out and said that.
No, that was in the first season of Star Trek Discovery when all this came out, and definitely honestly gave a big bump to the Star Trek Discovery show
viewership.
Ratings, and viewership. Yeah,
I'd imagine it would.
And then that sort of led them down that kind of path. Who knows how much they were going to plan of it? But when they killed off, I can't remember the character's name. They killed off his boyfriend or husband in the show. Right?
Okay, well there you go. I haven't gotten that far.
No, Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, I thought you were talking about okay.
House of Cards. You've seen House of Cards?
Yeah, well, I'm not I haven't finished it.
I haven't seen House of Cards.
I haven't finished it.
But we've both seen Star Trek Discovery.
But I thought you were saying that. Okay, right.
Anyways, whatever.
I hope they will remember it as a place that was willing to take a really long, hard, painful look at what was going on and willing to change. And so for all the sort of negativity and bad things that have happened, that we're on the right side, that we are moving toward a really effective change. I hope that's what it is.
Are you disappointed in Kevin Spacey?
Sure. I mean, I'm disappointed for the people that lives have been uprooted, that they're put in a really hard place. However, that's how things change. It hurts to change, and so as badly as I feel for them, and my heart goes out to everybody that's been affected negatively by it, I am happy that they have done it, that they have gone through it, and that they are changing. And it looks like Robin's going to take over, and it's going to be great. And I'm excited for the future for them.
Well, okay. So what I was into this week, Rob. So for Father's Day, we went and saw Men in Black International.
That's out?
Yeah.
We are a rumor. Recognizable only as deja vu and dismissed just as quickly. We are the best kept secret in the universe.
I know. I want in. You erased my parents' memories, but you didn't get mine. It took me 20 years to find you. How many people can say that? I found you, which makes me perfect for this job.
Agent M, we may have a problem in London.
Welcome, man. You will be with Agent H. MIB, you Carillion scum. And FYI, your little club here sucks.
Come on. The world's not going to save itself.
I'm driving.
I love it. I love it when you work. You just lose concept of time and space.
I thought it was out next week.
And it's what is going on? Who am I? So we needed to come up with a new subheader for how we rate movies. Okay. Right now we got burp, right, which is I guess pretty good because we burped it. We're burping it.
You made the paradigm,
right?
So
we got fart. Right?
Which is not something you
I'm
want,
introducing a new one called Coach, which is dedicated to movies that aren't a burp, but also aren't a fart, but are perfect if you're flying coach and need to watch a movie. Men in Black International is Coach.
Okay. Wasn't good. Wasn't bad.
Right.
But it's perfect for
Chris Hemsworth, right? Tessa Thompson. Somebody saw Thor Ragnarok and was like, hey, those guys are pretty good together.
Right.
Let's put them in it. Tessa Thompson, as a young girl,
I think I gleaned a lot of this story from.
Tell me what the story is. See if you can figure it out.
Okay, so I guess from what I gleaned from the trailer, Tessa Thompson is aware of the Men in Black based on the previous movies, or just seeing them in
some little
life.
alien comes to her in the first 5 minutes of the movie when she's a kid,
and she is subsequently aware of them, and then basically spends the duration of her life trying to find them.
2.5 minutes of screen time,
and then she actually does find them. And Hemsworth is sort of the.
And then they're just like,
agent.
yeah, sure, you can be one of us. And then she's like, wait, what about all those tests that Will Smith took in the first movie? And they're like, forget about those. You are now just a Men in Black.
Okay.
Don't worry, there are jokes that there's also women in black. There's those as well. If any franchise was going to like reboot and just be done by women, it should have been this one.
Yeah.
They should have just given us 2 women.
Yeah.
Because Chris Hemsworth character, this is going to be a spoiler for Men in Black International. It's not worth it enough for me to like do a non-spoiler than spoiler section. So
and we're not going to do a podcast.
We're going to do a whole podcast on it, and Rob didn't see it, and it's definitely like a download and watch at home movie.
Okay, that was my next question.
Or watch it on an airplane.
Am I going to go spend $20 in a New York theater?
No,
okay.
you're not.
That's what I thought.
It is the worst. Maybe, or tied with the second Men in Black, because I thought the second Men in Black was really bad.
I thought the third one was really bad.
I thought the third one was good. So there you go. Did you know the third one made the most money out of all the Men in Black movies?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be the bookend of this trilogy.
Yeah.
It should have.
They should have just left it alone. Or just done it better. Because Chris Hemsworth's character has no, like, character in the movie.
He's just Chris Hemsworth hamming it up on screen.
Yes, he's just basically Thor. There's even like a whole section where he picks up a little hammer and tries to hit somebody with it or throw it at them, and they catch it. And it's like, oh look, he's Thor, but not Thor. And but it's not.
I don't think I really wanted to see this in the theater. I know we had talked about seeing it in the theater, but based on the trailers that I saw for it, I was like,
Right. So the first Men in Black is like Tommy Lee Jones, right? Yeah. And you got Will Smith.
Yeah, that was
Tommy Lee Jones is a straight man. Will Smith is like, hey, I'm Will Smith, and
and you had some of the best. You had fucking Vincent D'Onofrio,
so good as the villain,
fucking good.
Villains in this not so good. Cool looking at first, but then you realize they're really just kind of rehashes of the Matrix twins, right?
Copy that.
Where they say nothing, but they look really cool. But then then about 55 minutes into the movie, you're like, I know nothing about these villains. Because they're not talking, even to each other.
So
about anything.
It suffered from the Night King.
This whole movie suffers
element.
from the thing of like, if the villains just came up and said, "Hey, this is what
this
we
is my
need.
motivation.
This is my motivation." The good guys would be like, "Oh, you're not the bad guys, are you?" And then it would all be solved.
So you think that could have been if the Night King had come up and said something?
Probably.
In Game of Thrones, it would have been like, bro, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You know what? You don't got to murder
Let's
all
just
our
have a
people.
discussion.
Let's just
talk this out, guys. Let's have a discussion. I know it doesn't make a good film, but...
We just fixed season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Boom.
You're welcome.
Talk. Yeah, Tessa Thompson's good, but there's something off. Like, Chris Hemsworth, his character throughout the whole movie, everybody's like, you're not the Chris Hemsworth character that you used to... You're not the agent you used to be, right? But you don't know why. And in the end, they give you an explanation, but it's still just like, what? I don't know. It doesn't.
So you
it's just
this is what
man.
you weren't into this.
The script is not. I was into it because it was Father's Day. I was into it because eating chicken wings. I was into it because my kids were into it.
Okay,
but it's very. I wouldn't even say safe. They made it with the same budget. of the first Men in Black.
Okay,
but it's now 20 something years later, and special effects aren't great. They're not bad. There's no motivation. The first movie, there's like this whole moment where Will Smith has to decide, like, am I going to be an agent?
Yeah.
And Tom Lee Jones, he's got like
one of the best lines in the movie. He goes, take your time. People are, he says, people are dumb, stupid creatures, but a person, something to the effect that a person can be taught something. And he's like, today you thought that you were the only life on the planet. Think about what you will know tomorrow, or something to that effect.
Nailed it.
The men and women in black.
Yeah, perfectly done.
But yeah, so he's got a love interest. There's just no stakes for the characters themselves in this movie. It's what my wife and I ultimately realized. But not bad. Watch it on a plane if you want. I
had something that was much better than your Men in Black foray.
Which was?
Jessica Jones, season 3.
I started watching it last night.
It's incredible.
And then my internet stopped working for a second, and I turned on my PlayStation.
Wow. It is. If it's the swan song for the Marvel TV shows on Netflix, it is a very good swan song.
Awesome.
I binged it this week.
Hello?
Jessica Jones. You are a cheater. You were given every advantage. Allowed to make mistake after mistake. You can't control yourself. You have no discipline, just brute force.
What do you want?
I want you to die.
I binged it this week. Like when I wasn't working, when I didn't have my eyes open long enough to catch anything, I was watching Jessica Jones because it is a return to form. That second season wasn't very good. It had all kind of issues and problems.
Yeah, they delved into like her PTSD, right? The second season.
No, the second season they kind of not dealt it. It was more about the mom. Like her mom shows back up, the mother that she thought had died when she got her powers, which was the reason why she was the way she was.
Here's an idea.
Kilgrave.
Don't ever do a season or a movie where the mom shows back up or the dad.
Bad.
We don't care.
It was bad.
We don't care about characters' parents
because then the mom has this character arc where she goes from being super bad to I'm gonna do. It was weird, and then. But regardless of that, they returned to form in this. They returned to the form of her being an amazing detective, private eye,
right? Which is what her character does.
And they lean really hard into like the noir aspects of it. Like in watching it, it kind of reminded me of like those old Sam Spade detective noir films from like the 50s. Complete with like the voiceover of her over the elements of the story where she's in. She's like, I thought this would be different than it was, blah blah blah, while she's doing stuff. Mm-hmm. Even to some of like the shots they would do. One of the last shots of the season is this. They're putting like the villain onto the helicopter, and then they do this broad like pull out. You're watching Jessica as the camera pulls out like in this huge, and then you hear the like the dulcet tones of like a saxophone, like in that completely like noir-esque way. The writing is incredible. It's the cast is amazing. They add a few people to the cast that for me it felt like a really great representation of a noir detective story, but told in a modern day situation scenario bent. It's incredible.
Cool
from start to finish. I like it. I didn't watch too many. My week was so full of.
Long Kiss Goodnight was the Gina Davis movie, which is very film
with Samuel L. Jackson in it.
And that was based off of The Long Goodbye.
A book or something?
No, it's a movie. It might have been a book as well. Both of those are film noir. Awesome.
Oh, yes, very much so.
The Long Goodbye, and they're both set in California. The Long Goodbye is also very kind of Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Raymond Carver, I think, is the guy who wrote it. Actually.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I don't want to look it up, but I don't care.
But yeah, if you haven't started Jessica Jones season 3, I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
It's a return to form in a very strong way. And it tells a very, very, very good detective story from start to finish for 13 episodes.
Did you watch I Am Mother?
I did, and it started well. It had a really good premise to start, but once you sort of figure out the premise, it becomes pretty much a by rote trope fest.
How far did you get?
Before I passed out on it? About a third of the way through the first part.
Why aren't there any more children, Mother?
There used to be.
Then why did you only make one?
Mothers need time to learn. This facility was designed to give humanity a second chance. One that began with you. Daughter. The path will not be easy. The world outside is
is lifeless. But I made you into the woman that you are so that we could do this together.
Mother?
Right. So basically it's about a teenage girl is raised underground by a kindly robot named Mother, voiced by Rose Byrne, designed to repopulate the Earth following the extinction of mankind.
And then Hilary Swank is in this movie, and that's really why I tuned in, because fucking Hilary Swank is a beast.
She's awesome.
But I wasn't so much sold on the premise. But I did, once I started watching it, I was like, oh, I like this. This is interesting.
She's the inexplicable stranger.
Right.
That shows up to the compound and bangs on the door.
Survive, basically.
The apocalypse.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil this too much.
Spoil it. Just go ahead. Who cares?
Well, basically, come to find out that this AI that's raising this girl in this underground bunker is the one responsible for humanity's apocalypse.
Yeah, you got pretty far then.
Well, I woke up and finished it.
Yeah,
I fell asleep in the middle. Like once the first third was really kind of interesting, where you're seeing this robot take care of these embryos,
being
and
a
stuff,
mother,
like trying to be a mom.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. Passed out on it. Woke up in time to see the girl, the now I guess preteen, teenage, young adult girl, basically kill her caretaker, this robot, or at least this unit of the robot.
Oh, that's the very end. Yeah,
the very end. And then you see Hilary Swank's character having just, I guess, I'm assuming there was some sort of like fight where she gets expelled from the underground bunker, and then the robot basically comes and finds her.
Yeah.
In another,
I like that moment. So
that moment I did like, but I was like,
basically the premise is like, mankind has ended, and this robot is in this bunker and learning how to be a mother.
But the robot is the one who ended mankind.
Yeah, exactly.
She ended mankind unnecessarily, and then tries to raise a human to then repopulate the world.
Raise a human the right way, so that humans grow up to be empathetic and good beings, essentially.
I missed that part. I missed the whole,
that's the idea.
We're trying to make you more. I'm trying to make you more empathetic, so you won't repeat the site. But like the whole, it seemed unnecessary to murder the entire human population based on this AI's logic.
And you find that information out late in the game, and I think that it was unnecessary. Humanity is on its way out anyways,
right?
So just let humanity end. And then be the robot that was in charge. If I was going to rewrite this script, be a robot that was in charge of basically building humanity back up. Right. And then at the end, when you build, because what was so great.
My question is, what was Hilary Swank? How was Hilary Swank's character? Because obviously,
she was just a survivor that had never been found, and that's what she said.
But she must have changed the mind or the thinking of the human girl that the robot.
The robot was lying to the human girl and telling her that there was a virus that killed all of humanity.
And then the survivor shows up and is like, "That's not what happened."
That's not what happened.
And then she's like, "Well, I gotta start linking these questions up now."
Yeah.
And okay.
To me, it was all unnecessary. Just let humanity die out from a writing standpoint. They die out. This survivor comes and shows up. There are survivors on the planet. The girl wants to go with the survivor, escapes and does, realizes, oh, this is terrible, goes back, finds her mom, because the robot is the girl's mom.
Right.
She's been raised. And the robot's also sort of like...
But then I'm
there's lots of robots in this world,
right? I was confused, but they're all the same.
They're all the same consciousness of the mother robot.
So I was confused because there's a scene where the AI consciousness is trying to get into the bunker,
right?
Using the outside robots to cut the door open.
It's
and I was
a bit confusing. So that's
why didn't this robot, if she's the consciousness, why not just use her own body to then access the door?
It's a weak explanation, but the idea is that right before the daughter runs off with Hilary Swank, the survivor, they decide that the daughter has proved herself to be a good enough human to be given a brother, a sibling,
right?
And so they
basically hatch one of the other embryos.
Yes. All right. So then the daughter leaves with Hilary Swank. She realizes Hilary Swank has been lying to her as well. There's supposed to be all these caves with people underground, but that's a lie. She's just basically living in that little like kind of container box, that shipment box. So the daughter comes back, sees all those robots outside the compound, says, "I want to see Mother." The robots let her in because Mother is all those robots, right? She comes in, basically talks to Mother, and Mother's like, "Yeah, here's your brother," and yada yada, and tells her some little of the story. The daughter picks up the brother, and there's a moment where it seems like the daughter could like harm the brother from the mother's standpoint. So the mother's trying to break back into the compound, potentially to kill the daughter and save the brother if that's what needs to be done. But the daughter, and this is one of the good moments in the movie, convinces her mother.
I saw that
she doesn't need her anymore.
Yeah, I saw that because that was one of the more heightened moments where you're seeing the robot shoot like the locks off this door from the inside, and then it stops right at it's about to cut the last bolt.
That's the most interesting moment because it's the point where the AI trusts the daughter,
right?
Because the AI the whole time.
But then, the moment after that, you see the AI basically go and kill Hilary Swank's character.
Yes. Well, there's a couple things that don't make sense. This is why out of everything I watched this week or kind of soaked in, this is the thing that made me think the most because it was close to being great. I would say it's good.
Okay.
Like if you're listening to this and you like it,
I fell asleep on it. So maybe I should go back and catch that middle section because I caught the beginning and I caught the end, and I was kind of like the middle was kind of the sag.
It
was
could
kind
have
of
been great.
The letdown.
Right. And it is kind of the letdown because there was a previous daughter that the mother had tried to raise that psychologically it didn't work out. So the mother kills and burns basically.
Oh, okay.
The daughter finds out about that and it psychologically obviously flips her out, right?
Right.
But that moment where the daughter convinces the mother, Rose Byrne's robot, basically, that she doesn't need her anymore, and the mother listens to her and basically allows her to shoot her and shuts down. That wasn't necessary. She could just shut down, but whatever.
Right.
It locks her in that compound.
That's what I was gonna say. Does that? So now basically she's stuck in this compound with all of humanity, like the remnant, basically the remnants of humanity.
She's going to be the mother.
Right.
To all of humanity now.
But now they're trapped in this underground bunker.
Until the robots want to come back and let them out, basically. Exactly. So then another robot goes and kills Hilary Swank. But because they're all the same consciousness from the same AI, it's like, well, why didn't you just shut down and like open the door and let her wander out? Like, it could have been cool. It could have been a great moment, right? Where the daughter's like, okay, I understand my purpose now. Then leaves the compound with her brother, goes after those cornfields, and rebuilds humanity with the robot mom, and creates a whole new society. Like, it didn't have to leave her trapped in this compound.
Yeah, it like I said, I started it, and
it was so close,
pegged the premise. I was like,
it was so close.
And
like,
I woke up in time to catch the end, and by that point, like.
The whole movie, even from the very beginning, just tonally, something is suspicious about the mother, and any moment it's going to come up. It would have been better if they played on those expectations, right? And if instead of the robot killing all of humanity, the robot was genuinely there to rebuild humanity.
I will say, okay, we talked at length about what we didn't like. I'm gonna say a few things I did like. I liked
the design is great.
I liked the design. Yeah. I liked that initial montage of seeing the robot grow a human from an embryo to
could have gone even more.
And then
like they skip over a huge, like I have daughters, and they skip over a huge section where your kids just are fucking shitheads to you.
Right.
Like show me a robot dealing with a shithead kid. That's what I want to see. Fuck you! I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to brush my. You're not my mom. You're a robot. Actually, you don't look at that because the robot is her mom.
Right.
That's what's great about the premise is that the robot really legit is her mom and does care about the daughter in the sense as much as she can and won't hurt her. Because I don't know. If there was a previous daughter that she killed, then make it like some sort of genetic thing.
Do they at least show you what happened between that robot and that previous daughter?
No, they never tell you why. All they know is that daughter did not meet expectations,
and she got murdered.
And she got murdered because of it.
How old was she? Was she the same age as that character?
The idea, I think, is that the daughter you see in the beginning is actually that girl. So when you flash forward and that girl is now older, it's not actually that girl anymore. It's a previous girl. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
A Alpha 2 or whatever. And she's A Alpha 3. Whatever.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
I liked it a lot.
All right.
But mostly because it made me think about what a better movie it could have been. Not necessarily what a good movie it is.
It was. All right, for sure. What else were you into this week?
Guardian Ape.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, you beat him?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
A couple days ago.
Okay.
So the Guardian Ape from Sekiro.
What was the thing that took it over the edge for you? How did you manage?
So basically, the Guardian Ape
you learned his pattern.
His pattern, right? So then you kill him, you chop his head off, and he comes back to life.
For people who don't know what the fuck you're talking about, who may have just tuned in at this particular juncture of this podcast,
we're talking about a video
game.
What are you talking about? Called Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
There's a big encounter about, I would say...
It's a boss battle.
It's a boss battle. 3/4 of the way through, you have this gigantic white ape you have to fight with a samurai sword.
And he has... Well, explain the battle, because...
He's got a sword already sticking out of his neck.
So the character model of this boss is a giant white ape, and you jump down into a pit, almost like a Sarlacc pit. And... it's an ape who, he has a giant blade already stuck through his fucking head. And a few of his attacks... explain it. You've been
basically,
fighting.
He runs around and, like, he attacks you really hard. I got him down so well, and his movement pattern down so well, that I could do him without getting hit once.
Really?
And then I would get to the second point, but that would take about 3.5 to 4 minutes.
Now explain the second point, because...
the second point is, like, you jump up, you take the sword that's already in his neck.
So the premise of this is he has a gauge, right? Like most boss battles do.
Yeah.
And once you get it down to a certain point...
This was not posture. I had to beat him, like, I had to take his health all the way down.
Right.
There was not a posture gauge that I could build up with him. There was, but it wasn't with that first part.
You couldn't do it for that first part.
Once you beat him the first time, you chop his head off.
His head comes clean off, and tell us the first, like, if you
think he's dead.
You think he's dead.
It even says,
you're
like, Shinobi execution.
You chop this character's head off, so you're like, I've won this encounter. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Cut to...
the ape starts moving, picks up his own head, and the sword that you used to chop his head off with, it was already sticking out of his neck, and starts fighting you with it.
And how many encounters? How many times do you think you
not
went
as many as Genichiro.
Really?
Genichiro was about 100. This was probably about 45 to 50.
Okay, so half as many.
Yeah. The problem was that I figured out how to beat the ape himself with his head intact pretty quick.
Right.
But it took about 3.5
minutes
minutes
after
of perfect playing, to get to him chopping his head off, and then that section took me a while, right?
Uh-huh.
So once I figured that out, then so it took me about a week.
Wow.
About a week of playing.
Wow. I gotta say,
maybe about an hour every night.
I gotta say, I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
I'm really proud of you.
So I get through, I finally kill him after his head's been chopped off.
You didn't ask me why I'm proud of you, though.
Probably about, thank you. Don't worry, it's going right here in my heart. Right here.
But you didn't ask why.
Why?
You know why I'm proud of you?
Why? Because I stuck with it?
Yes, because you stuck with... because you're still playing this game even after the fact.
Thanks,
I didn't think you were going to last. Yeah. I was like, he's going to hit a wall, he's going to put this game down, and he's not going to play it anymore.
Me too. But wait. So I chop his head off.
Uh-huh.
I beat him after his head's been chopped off, the second round, basically.
Wait, this is the centipede round.
The centipede round. I beat that round. Right?
Okay.
I start floating through the world again, being all like high on my own shit.
Right. You're like, I beat that. That's what I love about games like this. So you'll run up against this character that you cannot, for whatever reason, is putting you through the ringer.
Yeah.
And you're adamant. You're like, he's not gonna beat me. I'm not gonna quit. This guy is not gonna.
He only beats you if you quit.
Yeah, exactly. But the moment you beat him, the moment you actually overcome this, you're like, I told you.
This one felt good.
I told you.
This one felt good because this felt the right amount of difficulty.
Okay.
Genichiro felt too hard. He had 3 rounds basically. This one had 2 rounds. It felt the right amount of difficulty. So then I start floating through the world. I get to a cave.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking over and I'm like, is that ape without the head? I approach, and it is.
Wait, what?
It's the same ape without a head again. He picks up his head and starts moving towards me with the sword and starts fighting me. But I'm like, I know this guy's move patterns now.
Are you serious?
So I quickly dispatch him.
Wait. So that character,
yes, comes back
shows up again?
Yes.
Oh wow!
But I quickly dispatched him. Like, yeah, I got this now. I know your move patterns, man. You can't beat me.
Wow.
all of a sudden he gets up and wanders around to a corner, yells as loud as he can, and another ape jumps down. His girlfriend.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God. So now I have to
So you're
fight.
fighting two apes with no heads?
No, one ape with a head, one ape without a head, and a samurai sword.
See, I knew this game sounds amazing, but I will never play it.
That took me, and because I knew both their patterns, but I had to suddenly fight them at once. That took me about 10 tries, but I got it.
But still, 10 tries. I mean, that is a significant downturn in your...
Yeah. And so now I'm basically at the end game of the game.
Sekiro.
Yeah. I'm going through, there's a way to get, there's like 4 different endings, and you can kind of get them all.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so I'm kind of going through those different endings, and I'm almost there.
Is this one of those where like you have a save point and you just go back from the save point to get each ending?
No, yeah, you can do that. Or I could just end it, exactly. But I'm going through these different paths, so I get to a point where I can almost end it, and then like I'll stop. Remember when we saw Gozu the Drunk?
Yeah.
There's a way to go back to Heari Castle and fight your father from the past in order to get a flower to bring it to the future.
So it sounds like you have a better grasp of this story now as well. Is that the case?
Not really. I don't know.
No?
I mean, not really.
So you still don't even know why you're killing up all these people?
I do. There's like, there's like a prince, and he's got like dragon blood, and like but the dragon blood is evil and corrupts people. So I gotta like stop that, but also the only way to stop it is by killing the prince. So I'm trying to find alternatives on how not to kill the prince by going to the past and doing some.
So there's a time travel element to this story.
Just in the last, like in the 11th hour, there's a time.
Mad confused.
I know. I'm really gonna give you the game and be like, go home and play it and take your time and just see what happens, because I want you to come back and talk about it a little bit, but yeah. Yes, and that's it. That's pretty much all. I mostly played that this week, to be quite honest. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Because, I mean, there was a lot of the usual suspects that I was into this week. Not a lot, because I wasn't. But like the two that I talked about especially were, House of Cards and Jessica Jones. And then the usual suspects were up there. One, like my anime watching viewership was still on. Boruto, One Punch Man.
Is that still coming out with episodes, or is that done?
One Punch Man?
Yeah, and you're just trying to catch up, yeah.
No, One Punch Man, they're still making those weekly. Except that the last 2 weeks there was a hiatus. Something happened in Japan where they weren't doing the episode that they should have that week.
Got it.
I think I'm trying to remember what the reason was, but I'm not going to.
So you're like up to date on that.
Yeah, because they're still making it. It's an ongoing. That Attack on Titan, this 3rd season, which is it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Attack on Titan, I highly. It's one of those I highly recommend. The storytelling is now coming into its own in a way of like you have all these questions on like. In the first 2 seasons, you have all these questions on like how is why are there Titans? Why is humanity in dire straits like this? And this 3rd season, right now, they're getting to the point in the storytelling where they're answering a lot of these linchpin questions. Why does the main character have this ability? Why is he helping humanity in this way? And then you come to find out all of that now, and it's some really great writing.
Cool.
It's I highly recommend viewership of it. A lot of it's gnarly. Because it's giants eating people.
Yeah. It's strange.
It's really
I've watched the
strange.
first like 5 episodes, I think, and it's just a strange TV show.
It kind of really is. But keep going is what I would say.
Okay.
Keep going,
I'll go back
because the storytelling in it is incredible. I mean, the main character basically, if you don't know the premise, the main character sees his mom get eaten by these Titans early on, and then decides that he's going to wipe all these things off the face of the world. But when you start the show, you're like, holy shit, Titans exist. And humanity is basically living within the walls of the city to protect them from these Titans.
Humongous walls.
Like these huge walls. But then in the
kind of Pacific Rim style.
Very much so. Yeah, it's kind of like kaiju. But in the very first couple episodes of the show, this new and humanity has lived this way for X amount of years, like a really long time, until this one day when a Titan shows up that's bigger them the wall that they have and blows a hole in basically humanity's cage and allows all these other Titans to sort of run roughshod over it. And you're like, what? Wait, what? What?
Giants are in our cage. Giants are here. They're
basically.
everywhere.
And so the main character basically sees his mother get eaten by a Titan. Come to find out that he is actually a Titan. He didn't know that until...
that's what I was going to say, if that sounded jokey.
No.
I was like, he's either a Titan or he is his mom.
You hadn't even gotten that far? Well,
no.
that main character that you see in the first couple of episodes, his father... I don't want to... No, I'm not going to tell you all that.
I'll go back to it. You like this one a lot. This one's very popular.
Incredible.
I'll watch this one.
It's fucking incredible. Like, and some of it... It's like you said, it's weird because you're like, what?
Yeah.
But go back and watch it, dude. And it's they're getting to the point in the story where they're giving you the information of the history of how we got to that first episode.
Backstory. I love it.
And the backstory is incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. So that character's father is a linchpin.
Okay.
Is a linchpin, and that's all I'll say about it.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I was into this week.
Nice.
And working like a dog.
We got lots of comments.
Let's jump in. I mean, because what time are we at? What are we running?
We got about 1 hour and 45 minutes.
I feel like we should spend most of the rest of this time on comments and leave Kung Fu Hustle till another time.
Oh, right. We were going to do Kung Fu Hustle, but I already
It was going to be Kung Fu Hustle week.
I did watch Kung Fu Hustle. That was another thing I was into.
And we've spoken ad nauseam.
So this is your second week of announcing Kung Fu Hustle may be coming next week. It's on Netflix. Watch it. You will not be disappointed.
You can't be disappointed.
Unless you hate good things.
Unless you're a monster.
Unless you don't like
if
comedy.
You are, kill yourself because we don't need more monsters on the planet.
Bill Murray came out and said about Kung Fu Hustle that it's the best, most comedic movie ever made.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Murray said that?
Yes, Bill Murray. When it came out, he saw it in the theater and he said, I've seen Kung Fu Hustle and it is... He's like, it's done. Comedy is done.
Yeah, they killed it. Just a little loving early in the morning. Comments!
So my mom, she writes in, she says, love Val Kilmer. Talk to Mary. We saw him from afar when he took Uncle Bill's boat to Martha Vineyard. When we took, not Val Kilmer. He didn't take my Uncle Bill's boat.
I was like, when?
Let me clarify here. Hold on, guys. When Val Kilmer stole my uncle's boat.
He's like, get out of here. I need this. Mad Madigan needs this.
Yes. Let him have it.
Because he probably has that voice now.
Exactly. When they took my Uncle Bill's boat to Martha's Vineyard, he was outside with his kids. Has had a house there. Willow was amazing. We loved it when it came out. One of Beau's favorites. You made me want to watch it again. But I love Tombstone more, and Val has been quite quoted as saying that Doc Holliday was by far his favorite role.
Easily, you could tell.
Sidebar, my mom last weekend, 2 weekends ago, texts me and is like, hey, there's an issue with Willow. There's just like dead air.
Wait, she texts you, ...
Yeah. And so then I'm like, oh God, I got to find this dead air. So what I was able to link it to is like there was this one video that I pulled off of the making of Willow, and I put it in kind of towards the latter end of the episode. And for whatever reason, I can hear it on iTunes.
Oh, yeah, no, she's right.
Yeah.
No, she's right. I remember listening to that episode, too, and it literally goes on. I think I told you that. Didn't I tell you that?
No. So
we're at the end of the episode, it just kind of like runs on.
So I can hear it in my file here on my computer, but as soon as I attach it to my RSS feed, which sends it to iTunes, which sends it to Spotify, it doesn't come through. And so I spent I don't know, man. I spent 3 hours editing different versions. I re-downloaded that video, right? I converted that video from like in whatever AAC to like in 4A, did all these different things.
You reformatted it to fit.
Reformatted it to fit, and it would not, and re-edited it back into the podcast. And actually edited like different sections just to make it better as a whole. Re-uploaded it. Took me like 3 hours, and it still would not do it. So finally I went through and re-edited everything again, cut that entire thing out, and it's just me and you talking about Willow. Because it had like Val Kilmer and had like everybody sort of talking about Willow. It was a great making of documentary. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
I think we got to give an editor credit to Ma right now for being like...
I almost wish she hadn't told me, and I could, because I spent so much time trying to figure out how to
do
due
diligence.
It is like a puzzling quandary of like, why doesn't this work? All I can think is that because this is somehow George Lucas film, there was a codec or something involved that whenever you tried to stream that audio, which was downloaded from a YouTube video, right, it made it incompatible.
Interesting.
I don't understand. If you know anything about what we're talking about, I Googled everything I could find, and nothing would come up.
It definitely was like, there is this... almost like this dead. Yeah, I know.
You could hear Vera in the background.
I think we need to put Mom as an editor credit, man.
Yeah, she gets editor credit.
She's like, baby, there's dead air in your podcast.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not a good look.
Yeah. They're my quality controls. My parents.
Goddamn right.
She goes on. She says, "Saw John Wick and Keanu's fight scenes are amazing."
Wait, she saw John Wick 3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, she says you are right. The Oscars need to recognize fight combat.
Thank you, Ma.
She says the opening scene with the knives is crazy, and the dog sequence is incredible. I want a German Shepherd, always did.
See,
but I got a German Dachshund.
Yes, she did. And Elvis, is that Elvis?
Yes,
Dachshund. That was Elvis, right?
Yes.
Oh, R.I.P. Elvis.
She goes on and says that Keanu Reeves' best friend was River Phoenix.
Yeah,
he died. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually save a lot of these comments to read like on air. So when I stumble through them, it's because I'm reading them for the first time. So I didn't know that. Fell in love and his girlfriend got pregnant. They lost the baby at 8 months pregnant. It broke them up, and then she died a year later in a car accident.
Yeah.
She like enters new paragraph. He has had a rough time.
Yeah. See, Ma gets it.
She gets it. Watching Luther, creepy good. Handmaiden's Tale, first episode was terrific. I need to watch Handmaiden's Tale. I haven't seen any of it.
I haven't watched any video because I wanted to read the book beforehand. I started the book, and the book is so gnarly.
Is it Margaret Atwood? Right?
Yeah. And she has a canon. Her canon is a bit deep as a writer.
Yeah, she says finished third season of Sneaky Pete with Shane McRae. It's in Sneaky Pete apparently.
No shit.
UE alum.
Yo, I fucks with Shane McRae, bro. That's my dude.
Let's watch Sneaky Pete.
All right. Sneaky Pete. I'm gonna put it on the docket.
Sidebar: I saw Bill Heck over the weekend. Yeah, he wants to come and do an
your,
episode.
You were at the Nick Mills daddy party or whatever.
It was great. It was good. It's very good. It was a good time. Lots of dads hanging out. Lots of actor dads doing actor things.
Okay.
Bill Heck is pretty convinced that he will come on and do an episode with us. Jokingly, I was like,
awesome.
all we're going to talk about is the Amazing Spider-Man the whole time. No, he doesn't listen, but he says, it's like, I might listen, is what he said. But I was like, we're just going to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man the whole time because he's like the villain in the first part of it.
He kills Peter Parker's parents in that, dude.
Bill Heck kills Peter Parker's parents.
I saw that movie in the theater with Casey Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the scene coming out, we were both like,
and just jokingly, I was like, we're going to talk for 2 hours about that scene.
My God.
And he was like, all right, I'm game. I was like, no, I'm kidding. We'll talk about other things.
Fucking awesome. He killed it. I was like, I have expected Bill Heck to become a Marvel
Me too.
superstar. I was like,
he could.
Easily.
I was sitting there getting kind of drunk with him at this Dadcella, and every now and then I look up at him.
Wait, what did you call it?
It's Nick's words, Dadcella. Nick Mills, another actor on Mr. Robot.
Dadcella.
I look up at Bill Heck, and I'm there's moments where I look at Bill, and I'm like, you're a movie star, dude.
Dude, he looks like the poor man's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Not for nothing.
No, it's true.
No offense. He honestly, could you not see Bill as Captain of fucking America?
100%.
Easily.
Yeah. And after the Battle of Buster Scruggs and watching him in that role, he's great.
He's like, I was like, I didn't know Bill could ride a horse like that. He looked like Viggo Mortensen.
So I was incredibly gracious. I was like, yes, Bill, you're coming on the show. We'll get him on the show. She says Shane McRae is very, very good. She saw the Deadwood movie, which I need to watch.
Wait, is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
How the fuck?
It's on HBO.
I missed it. Oh, I'm watching that
The
shit.
problem is, though, I don't remember anything from the TV show, so I got to go back and do a recap of the TV show.
Yeah, I think I might have to sit down and watch that last season again just so I'm caught up.
By the way, another sidebar before I forget, I'm one episode away from finishing Doom Patrol. Yeah, we'll do that next week.
Okay.
And she says it's fine. She guesses. She's just not sure why that they felt that they had to make it other than the writer-producer is dying.
Oh, word?
Question. Yeah, it's David Mills dying? I didn't know that.
It was a question like dying like maybe?
Yeah, exactly. 3 question marks. That's for my mom. That's it. She says, love you, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
I fucking love Barb Dial.
We got to keep moving. I got like 3 more comments.
Go.
You want Mary or you want Sean? Lady Nerd 1 or
let's start with the family first.
Okay,
family first.
Let's go to Lady Nerd 1. She says, "Oh God, this is long too. Fuck." She says, "Hey, sorry I've been MIA. There are a few comments from the past.
Like she's been like jet setting.
She is a engineer." Civil engineer. She's engineering shit.
Nah, I think she was on vacation with her husband and
but
some
you know
really
that whole time that mind
places.
is engineering things.
Word?
The downfall of humanity, maybe.
I mean, hey, I need her to engineer me a really good boat.
Evil genius.
A really good boat.
Lady Nerd
1.
She says, John Wick, Keanu Reeves. I'm glad Rob mentioned Always Be My Maybe because I loved that movie. I laughed and cried a little in it. When y'all were initially talking about Keanu's film credits during the John Wick podcast, I was upset you left. She was offended that you left that movie out because Keanu did great with his cameo, and the film was great representation in it. That was just a little soon. I don't think we've seen it at that point.
No, I'm pretty sure Lady Nerd 1. I'm gonna pull your card here. Pretty sure I did credit the representation in it being a very amazing sort of niche telling of the Korean culture in San Francisco in this particular time, but also including like the 90s. I'm pretty sure I shouted out the representation matters because we do that on the show.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I pressed play and then left the house, so Netflix got its viewing. Keanu is definitely having a moment right now with John Wick, Always Be My Maybe, and Toy Story 4. In case you haven't seen it, I love seeing the behind the scenes of him doing the voiceover for Toy Story 4 and can't help but appreciate all the pictures of him with hover hands around women. Oh, this is where I learned about the hover hands. But I saw the pictures too.
So you did read some of
a
these.
little bit of this one. I got to make sure. You never know what later one's going to throw into these things. It could be highly offensive.
She's an engineer. She's got that engineer brain.
Yeah,
you never know.
Exactly.
You don't trust them.
Also, you will probably make fun of me for asking this, definitely, but am I the only person in the world that didn't realize Keanu has Asian roots?
Yeah. I think he's Lebanese.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, so I think his people's like from Lebanon.
I don't see race, you know. Willow. I rewatched Willow last night after probably not seeing it over 20 years, and I loved it.
Of course.
It brought me back to my childhood. I think the story holds up pretty well. Yes, some special effects look bad now, but I can definitely look past that. I know you mentioned it has strong female characters in it, but I figured I would mention it that it passes the Bechdel test.
What's the Bechdel test?
Bechdel test is like, is it a story of a comic book writer? I forget her first name, but she basically is like how she's pointing out how like even though when stories about women seem to always involve men somehow being the impetus for why they do things. And so in order to pass the Bechdel test, it has to be a woman doing something for herself or for other women and not because of a man.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that is Jessica Jones season 3.
Right.
Passes all of them.
Right.
By a lot.
Yes.
But she's saying that Willow does not.
Right. Well, you could say Jessica Jones season 1 does not because most of the impetus of why she does what she does is because of the male villain. Yeah. So it's just representation, stories about women for women that don't necessarily always involve the impetus being men, or because they're trying to get a man.
Definitely season 3. Definitely season 3. Sis, Lady Nerd 1, Jessica Jones season 3 definitely passes that by a lot.
Yeah.
And if I challenge you to watch it and say differently and then comment about it, please.
Challenge accepted.
Well, don't go talking for her because that's not going to pass the Beckwith test right now.
Bechdel. Also, you spoke a lot about Warwick Davis's movie credits. She goes on, but one franchise that you left out was Harry Potter.
I think we brought it.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we do because he's in those.
Yeah, we did bring that up.
Because
I think,
he's
but that was also
in a lower capacity, which is kind of crazy because they were like...
She's saying, though, that was the episode where we talked about how things end poorly, franchises end badly, right? But Harry Potter is one of the franchises that does consistently and stay good.
End badly.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she got us there.
She says he played Griphook, the Goblin, and Professor Flitwick in the film and appeared in all 8 Harry Potter movies. I did not know that.
Oh, no, definitely. Yeah. Because, I recognize that gait. I recognize his gait, the way he walks in all of them.
Yeah. She says, have you seen Handmaid's Tale, Season 3? We have not.
Have not.
She enjoyed the previous 2 seasons, but hasn't been impressed with this season yet. Thank you, Lady Nerd 1. Moving on to Sean Calloway. Another long one. Oh, God, this one's really long. I gotta figure out how to... I'll try to edit this on the fly. It says, yo, dudes, thanks for the shout. Larry, you can totally play a sex magician. It was a sex cleric. It was not a magician. Unless you're saying I can't play a sex cleric.
That's awesome.
Unless you're saying I can't play a sex cleric, which I say, then I don't want to play. And if I can only play a sex magician, I don't want that. I want sexual healing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? There's a whole book written about this, which I had no idea existed. Quote, Book of Erotic Fantasy. Okay. I recommend a gnome. Those fuckers are dirty. The sum of the 3.5e rules will have to convert to 5e. You could access to the cocksheath of pleasure, you could have access to the cocksheath of pleasure, cursed orgasm, and or /grope /disrobe spells. I don't want to get rapey. That's the last thing. If I'm gonna play D&D, I don't want to be the
sex cleric.
I don't want to be a rape master.
Sex cleric with an emphasis on rape.
I want to be the sex cleric
with an emphasis on rape.
Heals sexual things or heals
with sex. Sexily. This is the guy who's the writer, guys. This
is the guy sitting here without his shirt on, doing a podcast. Quite literally, you have to have sex to gain magical power /spells, and sustained sex orgies gives you more power. Okay, I'll take that. There are even new rules and endurance checks. I don't normally deal with these things in this game, but your shout piqued my curiosity, and you sent me down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
exactly.
Attaboy.
He says, you guys interested in coming to see our little game? Nope. We are playing Sunday. Don't want to go, Sean. We'll text you both. Don't, please. John. We currently have gay halfling named Blinko of Plinko fame, played by a lady who likes her smelly dwarf companion. She gets up to the R. Actually, we would love to come at any day.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm down. I got to create a new character because I can't find my old ones.
I clearly have to refine my character.
Yeah, I think one with a shirt would probably be better for you.
Can I play D&D without a shirt?
Ugh. Yeah, of course you can, but why would you?
Thank you. Because it's part of the general art. My sexual.
Don't be that guy.
My sex cleric does not have a shirt.
Don't be that guy.
He just never wears a shirt.
Just
no matter what the weather.
And not be that guy.
They're like, should we go over the mountains?
Don't.
Sorry, the sex cleric, he can't wear a shirt.
Ugh.
That's my weakness, is shirts.
Your weakness is shirts, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
He says, I have loved Godzilla for a long time and surprised that you didn't mention Planet of Monsters. You may have briefly, but I thought it was sorely overlooked.
We did. We overlooked it.
We overlooked it, yeah. Maybe you did. I didn't. I've never seen it.
Oh, word?
I didn't know it existed.
Oh, well.
No, I think I had read about that. It just it was Godzilla, and Rob hadn't seen Godzilla, and it was kind of left to me.
Well,
it was like our Men in Black review this week. Which was
once again,
sparse.
Didn't know you were going to see those.
Yep.
Was given no heads up for Men in Black, Godzilla, or what was the one that you saw recently that I hadn't?
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just
10
say,
Dark Phoenix.
These are all 3 movies.
Yeah.
You don't need to see.
I knew that going in, but it would have been nice to have seen them to be like, yeah, I was right.
You were too busy working. You were too busy driving a forklift into people.
There was a buddy of mine who got at me this week. He was like, why didn't you tell me not to see Dark Phoenix? To which I had to literally cut and paste the episode where I was like,
this is it.
Pretty sure I've been telling motherfuckers that was going to be trash.
Pretty sure that even before we reviewed Dark Phoenix, we said,
people, don't go see that shit.
Phoenix.
Like, I don't know what. This is my problem. I tell the truth and nobody ever listens to me.
Ooh, okay, hold on. He says, lastly, I'm going to rustle some feathers. He talks about Godzilla. Thank you, Sean. I read it. It's good comments. I'll send them to you. You can read them.
Okay.
he says, I didn't like Brie Larson in Captain Marvel, or even Captain Marvel as a movie. I think Marvel pandered a ton in Endgame, and they handle women in the worst way. In a way, I think it is even more patronizing to women. That said, Wonder Woman did everything right. It was by far a better movie, story, and Gal Gadot had the gravitas. Well, this is very appropriate.
So Sean actually gave you that
No,
little bit
I haven't read this until right now.
Oh, you didn't read Sean's comment?
I'm reading it right now. Reading right now. It's a gravitas to present a true woman hero.
You sound like Penn right now. No, I didn't. I didn't read this and then take this comment and make it a part. What? No, I didn't. You sound like Penn right now, bruh.
She says those characters do the do and represent empowerment in their actions. If I have to explicitly tell you what empowerment looks like, then it isn't empowerment. And it isn't empowering anymore. It is pandering. Throwing in the scene of only women characters in the final battle of Endgame to rush Thanos is pandering and divisive. I don't know if it has to be divisive.
I don't know if it's divisive, but it definitely is pandering.
It is, but like, I'm going to come from... Listen, Sean, I'm going to come from it from the angle of a dad with a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, whereas they don't get the pandering side of it at all. I agree.
They just look at it and think that's cool.
From a 38-year-old straight white male standpoint, pandering as fuck.
Pandering as.
Right. From a dad standpoint, like let them subconsciously suck it up.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree because it's representation matters, and seeing women in that way be effectual and strong in that and like that. Even though they may not understand it, it is shaping them in a way to be like, you can do whatever, don't listen to nobody, blah 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 blah. There's all positives to be gained from seeing that as a young a woman and as a young girl.
Yeah,
all the positives.
When you're so young that you have no idea what's going on, and you're just giving images of things, and those images show you strong women.
Right.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Just do it.
I think for a long time we haven't had that.
Yeah.
And so now like that we're going into the red with it everywhere.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It is male-run studios and production companies, male-owned studios and production companies that are saying, "Hey, we can make money off this Me Too movement.
If we do this pandering thing,
and we can do this pandering thing, right?"
But at the same time,
it still has a positive effect.
It still has a positive bent.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is where the movie kind of put the blinders on me because, like I said, I don't know if it was necessarily the greatest in sort of its writing and scope and storytelling, but I liked it for what it was and what it did for the cause of diversity and
he has a whole long email here, so he's not necessarily, he's got a lot of things he's saying, and I'm slightly reading it out of context, so just nobody jump on him, but he's saying representation matters, but you also have to represent. When you pander to an audience, you solidify stereotypes, which can have a negative effect. When you justify those stereotypes with representation, it absolutely matters. Asking a black actor to act more ghetto is exactly what I'm talking about. Telling/allowing a woman actor to tell people that this is what women empowerment looks like, very similar. Okay, it's debatable. Anyways, can't wait to see Jim Jarmusch's new movie, Dead Don't Die. I heard it was bad, but the trailer looks really good.
The trailer looks fantastic, and the cast is phenomenal, but the caveat being, I think it only really holds up because of Murray and Driver and that. It kind of looks like it would be kind of a shit show.
I kind of just want to see Tilda Swinton with the samurai sword chopping off, like,
Well, did you see her in?
She's like the white ghost to what's her face's Michonne's Walking Dead.
Did you see? She was on something. What We Do in Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah, she reprised her role from
Was she in
the other Jim Jarmusch movie? I have the soundtrack. I can't remember the name of it. Not What We Do in Shadows. It's the other vampire movie. She plays a vampire with Loki with Tom Hiddleston.
Really?
In a Jim Jarmusch movie that
recently.
I want to say There Will Be Blood, but it's not. Oh my god! I gotta get the soundtrack.
Is it recent?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're referring to. Then
I have the soundtrack over here somewhere. Hold on.
So what you don't see is he's run off away from the mic to pull a LP from his LP library.
Extensive LP
Only
Lovers Left Alive.
That's the name of the movie?
Yeah.
And that's recent?
Yes, it's really good.
I've never
also,
even...
before I forget, I got this. Describe that for our audience.
So, Larry had just handed
Father's
me...
Day present.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
She just handed me the the new edition of Marvel's Encyclopedia, which basically is an encyclopedia of every Marvel character that has ever been created in the canon. An extensive one, and it's this is actually one of the best ones I've seen. Actually.
Yeah, that's the newest one.
This is great. That's a great gift.
So on Father's Day, when your spouse is giving you a lot of shade because they're really internally thinking, why the fuck does he get a day? You know what? I should have a day.
Mother's Day was in May.
You end up
Not
just...
the same?
Yeah, but
Not
you
the
end just
same.
up fighting about it so much. I think mothers
Wait,
should have a
do
day.
you guys fight about Mother and Father's Day?
You can't not get into a fight.
Seriously?
Yeah, we always get into fights every year.
I wonder, Mom and Dad. Do you think Mom and Dad ever got into fights over Mother's Day?
I'm sure.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What is there to fight about? You both get holidays. Moms and dads both got literally a month apart, and moms come first. What's the issue here?
It just creates tension. I can't
Does it?
explain it. Yeah, I
Wow.
can't. It creates tension. I can't explain it.
This is pretty cool.
What I can't explain is that Laura will do a thing where she doesn't clean the house for 3 days right before Father's Day, and then Father's Day will come and the house will be a wreck. And so this year I was like, "Fuck it, I'm cleaning the house before Father's Day because I don't want to be there on Father's Day being like, yeah, I should probably clean, but I really want someone else to do it because it's Father's Day." That's so stupid.
That's my gift for Father's Day. I want somebody else to clean.
Yeah,
this is really cool, dude. So it's the definitive guide to the characters of the Marvel universe.
It's a two-hander book. It's heavy.
I mean, it's an encyclopedia. It's literally
if you don't have strong wrists,
like an Encyclopedia
gonna be
Britannica from 1990. That's really cool. And so now you have no excuse to not know who the fuck or what the fuck I'm talking about.
I agree.
We're talking about Marvel characters. That's an incredible.
Drop that on the table and let's listen to it.
Ow! My hand was under it.
It's so huge.
Fucking
and
hand was
colorful.
under it.
Final comment of the night, day, whatever it is, from Lena Eaglestein.
Who's that?
Hi, what we into? New listener here.
Finally,
yeah,
what? I'm excited. What?
Finally getting around to sending my thoughts, queries, requests, hopes, and dreams to the What We Into team.
That's a lot. We'll see if we can handle some of that. At
the persistent nudging of one Lauren Style co-host and unofficial climbing coach extraordinaire. I know her from climbing.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I know.
All right.
I know. It's not cool, right?
Not nearly.
If you're just a random person, send us an email because it
would definitely make me more excited than someone.
But no, this is a good email. She says, "Firstly, I haven't read it yet, but firstly, I have read. Firstly, I was reading an article about the new."
Continue.
About the new Big Little Lies season, a show initially slated to be a miniseries based on the book, then given a second off-book season.
You say Big Little Lies?
Yeah, Big Little Lies, HBO show. And there is a line in the beginning about how financial and postmodern fan service greed has driven artistic restraint and integrity out of TV and film and lots of other mediums. Then I was also listening to the John Wick episode, and Rob was lamenting about something about how whiny fans and pushy media can alter the craft and art of some people, their TV and movies, etc. And given that you've often discussed reboots, I was wondering your thoughts on the matter. This was my thought/query.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Over here, Rob.
I was distracted by your lattice. What do they call them?
Armpit hair?
Yeah, that's it.
I was stroking my chest
as
I was reading this.
You were reading it, and it was distracting.
She's basically saying, about reboots, postmodern fan service,
right,
and how that can change different things.
I think it depends on the reboot.
Yeah.
That's
Pushy media can alter the craft and art of some people, their TV and movies.
I think feral fandom has changed the way that artists release or write or distribute their art.
But mostly it's also just the internet. The internet has changed these things.
I think so too. I think for a lot of it is the internet has changed. The internet has changed everything.
No,
it has changed everything because, like especially when you're talking about feral
Not
fandom,
love.
like it doesn't take long for one person to have viewed your art and then within minutes be able to shit on it, and then that shit can reach millions of people in no time. And the same can also be true, but
it's a snowball effect too. It's like when somebody doesn't like something, we don't like The Last Jedi, we don't like Luke's arc,
and I think a lot of what had to do, honestly, I think a lot of the displeasure that happened with The Last Jedi, at least these new Star Wars movies, had to do with the fact that the main character was female.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of what the fanboys didn't enjoy was like
fanboys is inaccurate because there are fanboys that are not misogynists that have issue with her character being unestablished and not established well, which she suddenly has all these powers and there's no explanation for it.
I don't think that's a problem. I think if you I think fanboys are mad that she's OP from the top.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. Why is that out of the realm of possibility that a character would show up and just be OP'd like that? But with a raw, in the same way that Anakin was raw and unschooled and talented.
Anakin has years of training, though.
Not when he showed up racing he was racing pod racers.
That's a preternatural ability.
Oh, that's a preternatural ability, but the ability...
Actually, that's one of the biggest missed opportunities in the whole fucking first movie in Phantom Menace. Is that they never show him consciously, like if there had been a moment when he's racing that podcast and he closes his eyes and uses the Force to win it.
Racing that podcast?
That's actually a comment from my mom back when we saw the movie.
I think racing a pod racer, but you can't race a podcast.
You can race a podcast.
When he's racing that podcast and he's drinking that drunkenness. He's what? Drinking that drunkenness?
No, I mean, she basically, like, how did she... This is also...
We don't know. That's why.
This is an
That's
entire
how.
problem
Because they
with
can
the third
build a story
movie.
about that.
She already beat Kylo Ren in the first movie.
Yeah.
She defeated him.
Which is part of the reason why the second one, he was like, you're supposed to be a Sith Lord and you get beat by a novice?
Right.
That's...
Just because somebody posthumously comes out and is like, hey, this is the... we're going to discuss this now in the second movie.
I don't have any issues, especially if it's an established. If first off, it was an establishing movie.
Yeah.
If you're telling that if a character is OP in an establishing movie, wait to find out why they're OP.
Okay, why is she OP?
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know her lineage. We don't know her heritage. She could be a descendant of whatever.
Kylo Ren says she's nothing. She comes from nothing.
Yeah. He also could be lying his fucking ass off because he's a Sith.
True. So now in the third movie, she's going to come out and she's going to be like someone's daughter, and that's going to be better?
It's better than being like, oh, this is impossible because she's... How is she this established? What? So it's a worse way...
It's not that it's impossible. There's no explanation for why she's so strong in the fourth.
Do you need one? I don't think you fucking need one, especially when you're telling a whole new story.
How does she know how to do the Jedi mind trick in the first movie?
What do you mean?
Where she's like, you will leave me alone
because that's an established thing that Jedis have been doing for centuries at this point. So obviously you would have heard in the course of growing up she grew up on fucking Tatooine.
She grew up in Jakku,
which is an established place that somebody was from.
I think you're out of your element here, man.
Who's from Jakku?
No one.
That's
her.
Not,
She's
that's
from
not
Jakku.
True. There are other characters in the Star Wars canon that are from Jakku that she could have heard that story from or learned that story from. And the fact that the Jedis have been around for at least a millennia now, I'm sure that people have been like, oh yeah, Jedi have these abilities. Here are the abilities that Jedi have. You can read them in holocrons.
How come Luke didn't know that shit?
Because Luke was a put. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
How come Luke on Tatooine didn't know?
I'll tell you why. Because Aunt Barris and Uncle Hugh were pieces of shit.
They didn't tell him shit.
He didn't know nothing. That's why. That's how he didn't know. He was completely protected and sheltered his whole fucking life.
That's right.
That's why he didn't know.
Fucking Aunt, whatever her name is, and Uncle Owen.
I don't understand why like the fact that she has these knowledge and use of these powers is the fall down for everybody. Fucking
it's not. I mean, it's not. But
it obviously is because this movie suffered from that.
To bring it back to my point. What's been happening is there's been misogynists that are like, yeah, we don't want this to be about females. This is like female empowerment, and they're forcing agendas onto Star Wars. But there's also genuine, legitimate fan concerns. And there are issues. Is the sequel series as good as the originals? No. Right?
Do you mean the prequels?
Or the prequels?
Because the prequels, I would say no. I would say the sequels haven't been given enough of their own.
We're still telling the story.
Depth. Yeah, exactly. We're still telling the story. And I don't understand why we can't let the story be different.
Right.
Why does she need to sort of be taught how to? There's never been a character in the canon that just shows up with the powers and then just inherently, instinctively knows how to use them and becomes what Rey is going to inevitably become.
She has no training. Luke never trains her. Yoda trained Luke. So either she's Luke. so
connected to the Force.
Yeah.
Why is that hard to believe that a character could be that connected to the Force, but they don't need to be trained? The Force trains them.
Then say that at some point. Have somebody say that, and let's talk about it. Let's address it in the movie.
I don't think you need to. I honestly don't think you need to address it. I think that you can establish that there's a character born into this new canon of Star Wars who is so OP'd by the Force that she doesn't need to be trained.
Right.
Like, if the Force is ever and the Force is around us, why can't we establish that, like, if Yoda is already a part of the Force, maybe Yoda and all the previous Jedi Masters just in the Force, she because she's so in tune with it, the training is just inherent. It's osmosis.
Just show me that in the movie.
I don't think you need that.
Show me it in the movie.
I don't think you need that. And if you do, they're still, like you said, they're still just telling the story hasn't even finished.
To go back to Lena Engelstein's question.
Thank you, Lena.
Okay.
Thank you for your question because it got us off.
Should fans be able to alter or control or change art? Okay.
No.
So if you go back to Star Trek, right? J.J. Abrams did Star Trek the reboot. Starts the Kelvin line, right?
Okay.
He comes to Khan in Into Darkness.
Right.
Everybody hates it. Nobody likes it.
Everybody hates it. I didn't mind it.
I liked it too. I thought it was fine.
It was fine.
Okay. They decide not to bring him on for the third Star Trek. Instead, he goes off to do Force Awakens. Right? He does Force Awakens. At first, everybody's like, this is amazing. We love it. But they're like, you know what? It's also a lot like New Hope. There's a bit of a backlash. Hold on. Bit of a backlash. They're like, why don't we bring in a new director? Let's bring in a new director who will do something new and fresh and different and subvert our expectations. And it's Rian Johnson for The Last Jedi.
And they shit all over
him. And J.J. Abrams comes back. So in answer to her question, yeah, I kind of think leave the fans out of it. Make the movies that you want to make. Make the art you want to make.
Leave the fans out of it. Do not pander or cater to your fandom. That's not how. Because
J.J. Abrams, he started a trilogy with Force Awakens. He was going to do all three of those movies,
and
presumably. He should have. And so now we have one movie by one director, a second movie by another director, different vision. Third movie going back to try to tie those two movies together. Maybe it'll be great.
Maybe maybe it'll give JJ an opportunity to show how good of a director / writer / creative mind he is. Because I personally had I didn't feel a ways about either one of those movies. I thought they were fine. I thought they were establishing a new vision of what.
Star Wars shouldn't be fine. It should be great.
I think those early movies were fine.
The original trilogy?
Yeah, the original trilogy were fine.
They're just fine. Just fine. Okay, just like all right.
I think we're remembering them in a light, in a way that children remember things.
I'll tell you what, the box office remembers them in a different way.
Well, because they were the first of their kind. There was no precedent for them. We've had many a fucking precedent for them. Plus, the animation has been telling a better version of those stories for at least a couple decades now.
Flash forward like 20 years and our kids are doing their own podcasts and be like, in-game was this, it's fine, it's okay.
And they Marvel. Would and by that point, if it's 20 years in the fucking future, I would hope that they would have an opinion of, oh yeah, they were fine.
There better be better movies 20 years from now.
That's my point.
There better be.
And that's my point.
In-game 2040, that's what I want to see.
And that's my point.
She goes on, secondly, I would love to hear a good discussion of the Puffs and some other Harry Potter, always, always, any day. I would love that. And though it seems like much of your base loves the comics, DC, Marvel worlds, I would love for you to talk about some more contemporary movies, TV, etc. That is my request.
Oh, okay.
We talk about some contemporary movies. I feel like we talk about a little bit of that. Maybe Lena just needs to listen to some more of these podcasts.
Oh, Lena, this will be our 20...
I know what she's saying. People want us to talk about real stuff, real movies, not just these like cartoon, action, sci-fi things.
I think we have a kind of artistic bent when it comes to the nerd shit that we're into.
Yeah.
And I think that like talking about modern or more realistic things is kind of a departure from what we're into.
When I was editing last week's podcast, and you're talking about when will they see it? What was it?
When they see us.
Yeah, when they see us, right? And I didn't. We were a jokey podcast. I didn't quite have the tone right, so like I played like a section of like the trailer, and it's like really like super dark and gritty. And then it cuts back to me being like, yeah. So when will they see us? And I'm like. No.
It's
and
dark. That's where that suffers from. But
that's
I think that's the extent,
nature of doing a comedy podcast and also talking about serious issues.
That's the nature of what kind of goes on. Like if we were to do like straight up just that kind of thing all the time, it kind of isn't. Yeah, and that's what I was saying about that particular.
Like we do a little bit of that, but we can't do that all the time, man.
I mean or when they see us, or how was it? How they see us?
No, it's when they see us.
When they see us.
I think the first time you said how they see us, and I started googling that. I'm like, that's not what it's called. It's when they see us.
It's not an easy watch by a long shot, and that's why I tend to only need to recommend or be into something like that. Once a week. It's not something that I want to sustain. Throughout, like, several weeks of the podcast.
I feel like she's Ava DuVernay. She did Selma, Wrinkle in Time, this new movie about Central Park 5. But she's supposed to be doing something else, too. I thought that she was lined up to do kind of a Marvel movie.
Oh, word?
I feel like it. I mean, I feel like I heard about that.
She has been killing it recently. Her canon is really good.
Oh, she declined Black Panther, and she was set... Now she's set to direct... some DC movie.
Black Panther 2 or the original Black Panther?
The original. The New Gods. She's doing the New Gods.
Oh,
that's what it is, yeah. Ava DuVernay's The New Gods.
That's DC.
Yeah, and what I wanted to send you the other day, or you to send me, because I was trying to remember something that you said that I wanted you to send me Good Omens, to tell me to watch Good Omens. I couldn't remember. I was like, I knew there was something I was supposed to be watching.
Well, I'm surprised that Laurel hasn't brought it up to you.
No.
Because, I mean, that's a gaming property, and and me and Laurel, we geek out over gaming all the time.
Yeah. I think she just keeps forgetting about it just like I do, and I need to go on to Amazon and watch it.
You guys should definitely check it out.
Lena has one last thing. She says, thirdly and lastly, but possibly most importantly, I hope and dream to one day be a Riverdale correspondent. My credentials, I've watched all seasons. However, I haven't really read the Archie comics, to be perfectly honest. Not good enough, Lena, sorry.
No, well, here's the thing, Lena. The Riverdale series and the Archie comics are a departure from each other. The only thing that the Riverdale comics and the Riverdale show and the Archie comics have in common are the characters' names, because that's it.
I will say, though,
that's it.
Find every Archie comic and read it and come back to us and let us know.
I mean, she'll have to go back to the 1970s, I think, is when they started
build a time machine and go back to the 1940s. It's like 40s. I mean, Archie comics have been around forever.
They've been around a bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really the only thing that those two properties have in common are the names of those characters, and the name of the place where they all live is Riverdale. But it's a departure. It's basically like a very Dawson's Creekian slash.
Well, we don't know. Have you watched it?
I watched the first season.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. I watched the first season's on Netflix.
1939 is when the company began.
No shit. 1939?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. 1940s, man.
Wow. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm. And one of my classmates actually did a bit of a guest starring role on the show. But after I watched the first season, I was like, I get it. I don't need to watch it.
They're high schoolers, right?
Yeah, it's set in high school.
I feel weird watching high schoolers now.
Why's that?
I'm not a high schooler. I'm like an adult. I'm about to have high school kids.
Yeah,
I don't want to put like preconceived notions in my mind about what my kids are supposed to be like in high school. My kids are doing great. The more that I project onto my kids about how I think they're doing, it's just fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like, just I need to just like
I can understand you being a father trying to stay away from preconceived notions of what high school is like. Well, as someone who has no skin in the game, I watch all that shit with the discriminatory eye, being like, I hope that's not what high school is like. But I think about it like this: like high school now and high school for us, completely different.
Yeah.
People couldn't ruin your life with a cell phone.
It's even worse now.
It's worse.
They can just ruin my life just by like humiliating me in public. Now they can do it like. For everyone. Forever.
Because that once it gets up, I mean, that's not coming down.
Or do you think it's making tougher kids?
No.
Kids are
it is not making tougher kids. The amount of fucking... The rate of, like, teen suicide has gone up quite a bit since we were fucking in school.
I don't know. Heather's teen suicide. Don't do it.
Heathers, really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a whole theme, and there's like all the kids
I
start
know,
killing themselves.
But you're speaking to a very niche market of motherfuckers who know that the fuck Heathers is
whatever.
about.
I bet everyone listening is like, oh yeah, Heathers. Larry's right on. Rob, get off Larry's back, man.
Wow.
He knows he's talking about.
Wow. All right.
This has been What We Into. I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
And I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson.
This isn't the end of the podcast. I just thought I'd plug this one more time.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going forever.
What else you got?
Nothing. That's it.
What else you got? Well, you can reach out to us on the platforms you told us about earlier.
You can just keep trolling off like you're not that interested in what you're saying. It's fine. He's tired.
Well, I'm trying to...
He worked hard,
I'm trying to plug the fucking
When's your next day
podcast.
back at work?
I don't fucking know. I'll look it up at some point. Wait, no. Shit, it's Sunday.
So this means you're definitely coming to Florida.
Yeah, it definitely means I'll come to Florida.
Definitely. Awesome.
I just need to buy my ticket.
Cool.
As soon as all that money comes in.
First, we got to drive to Colorado and pick up those ounces. Then we got to drive to
Colorado,
Florida.
It's Seattle.
And then we got to drop them off.
I don't know anybody in Colorado. Unless somebody I know in Colorado has a line on some of that good, please.
Ounces. Yeah.
Ounces.
Bring it back to my parents.
Need some zones.
See how good my dad sails a boat completely ripped on
weed. God. I feel like Pop's being in Florida, he could probably get some easier access there.
He's like, that's nothing. It's a joint. I'm used to 7 Bloody Marys on the golf range.
That's awesome.
whatweinto@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Send us an email, and we will read it online, as we've just shown you. If you have more thoughts on my sexual clericness.
No, I don't think anyone has any more thoughts on your
Give thoughts on
cleric.
Rob's receding hairline and what he can do about it.
Look, like check out you should check out my website where you can see that I don't have that much receding hairline. In fact,
those are old pictures.
They're old-ish, but there's a few new ones up there with
we're actually 60 years old here.
Bite your tongue. I'm 260 years old.
260.
But black don't crack. I look good for my age, and there can only be one.
What We Into on Facebook, patreon.com/What We Into. You can throw us $1.
You can find us on YouTube too. We do those are actually pretty fun. I like the YouTube videos.
YouTube, yeah. I haven't.
They get uploaded a little slower than the podcast.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It goes through Spreaker, which is like a online service. They would upload quicker if I would only pay them $12.95 a month.
No, fuck that.
So if your only way of finding this podcast is through YouTube, thank you.
We apologize and thank you.
And sorry. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We should get some food.
Yeah, we should definitely go eat.
We've got
thanks for
half an hour. It looks like it's another pizza lunch for Larry and Rob. Lunch of champions.
We'll be back next week with some more What You're Into shit.
Or we might not. Who knows? This could be it. Last episode.
Cherish it. Don't say that.
Cherish
it, sad in my nethers. Sad in my nethers.
I just didn't.
That'll be the title of my memoirs.
I just need sad in your nethers.
Yeah, Rob Robson's story. Sad in my nethers.
Oh, I could keep going on this for hours. Sad in my nethers.
Yo.
That's the title of this podcast. Sad in my nethers.
No, it won't be the title of this podcast.
The Harry Potter story. Starring Robert Carver Robinson.
Yo, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace.